Hello, you beautiful bastards, and welcome to my so-called show. I am here with my mostly regulars, Van Dad Menace, Critical.
Hello
How
there.
are you doing, you two?
Good.
And familiar but always welcome guest, Inside Man, and the always welcome Lord of Toxicity. How are you? And Inside Man has disappeared. He'll probably some problems, but he'll be back on soon. Yes, how are you doing, Toxic?
I'm good, brother. Thank you so much for having me on this. I love this movie. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's an easy. It's hard not to like this movie. It's easy to watch. You can sling this
Is
film on any time you like, and you can watch this 1,000 times, and it will never get boring. It's that good.
Yeah, for sure.
And everyone in the chat, thanks for joining me, Mr. E, Nick's ready for some good roasts and some roast potatoes as well from you, maybe. Who knows? Tony K, thanks for joining us, Jammer Lama, and yeah, I had no idea where Inside Man's gone, but hopefully he'll pop back up soon. So yeah, first time you ever saw this movie, Beverly Hills Cop, the first and still the best. Fandad Menace. Starting with Fandad Menace, sorry.
am I going first? I
Yeah.
want to say hello to one of my best mates, Ray Terry. He's in the chat. He's probably the person
Hello,
that
man. All right, man.
probably one of the first people I watched the movie with. But I think if my memory serves me well, hired it on VHS when it came out in 1984 or 1985 when it dropped on home video, and I took it home and decided to watch it with my parents. And I honestly felt like crawling under the couch because my dad was quite strict, didn't like any sort of nudity, kissing, sex, the swear words, any of that sort of thing. And I was absolutely cringing in my seat. I think I was pretending to be asleep at one point. But by the time it got to by the time it got to the scene with Serge, when Eddie Murphy was saying, "Get the fuck out of here," my dad was absolutely rolling about on the floor. So I thought, I might be in with a chance. But yeah, it was way back in the day when I saw it. I think I've seen it a couple of times since. And when I watched it this week, it's been the first time in a long time, but it's such an easy watch. Brilliant classic movie.
I cannot agree more. Critical. What was it? When did you first see this movie?
Critical Al has left the chat.
We'll get back to him soon. Inside Man. Anyway, first time you saw this movie.
First time I saw this movie, I actually went to see this at the cinema on its release on its opening weekend. So that's how much older than you lot I am. So yeah, and it was a packed house. I mean, my local theatre at the time, before they decided that they were going to sort of slice the building up into sections and make smaller screens, had a 2,500 seat cinema. So and there wasn't a single seat in the house. It was absolutely rammed. But the reception that the movie got was incredible. You know, I mean, I'd seen a couple of trailers, and I went to see it purely on the back of knowing a little bit more about who Eddie Murphy was at the time, because we'd obviously had 48 hours in which he was just great.
Yeah, this is first lead role, because I don't know if this came out after Trading Places.
This was this before Trading Places, wasn't it?
I feel like this is after.
I think it was after.
Yeah, it was after.
He was still, because he was still starring opposite other people, wasn't he? He had Nick Nolte, he had Dan Aykroyd. So yeah, I think this was his first lead role, proper lead role, and yeah, he fucking kills it. He really does. He's very charismatic. He's very energetic. He's very likable. He's very optimistic, and he's very, and mostly very funny.
Yeah, I think knowing his stand-up stuff, a little more than some of my friends at the time. I was the one that encouraged everybody to go and see it. Me and all my mates, just piling into the movie theatre, and and it kind of became a little bit of a firm favorite. I've never really, if I'm totally honest with you, never really been that much of a fan of 80s movies, but this is one of the few.
What?
But yeah,
Kick him off the stream.
Get out of here.
yeah, yeah.
Get out of
See,
here.
Yeah,
Ooh,
see, the thing is,
blasphemy.
see, I grew up with these movies, right? So these movies are kind of like my kind, my movies of my sort of youth, and it's like 80s music. Everyone's so misty-eyed and nostalgic about 80s music and 80s movies. And I can't, I've got to be honest with you, 99.9% of all 80s music and movies are shit. But this is one of the few that's actually really, really good. But when you consider that this is Eddie Murphy, just think about the movie that we could have had with who was originally going to be starring in it. So, yeah,
Plus
just imagine what
the
that was
original
going to be
script
like.
was written in 1977, but I think some of it was some of the stuff for Sylvester Stallone was taken and put into Cobra, because he was originally going to have the name changed from Axel Foley to Axel Cobaretti.
Cobaretti.
The Cobra. Yeah,
terrific.
He wanted to do it super serious, didn't he? Like super serious.
Yeah.
Take all the humor out. Call himself Axel Cobaretti. And it's like, nah.
And Jerry Bruckheimer was against it, because if they did it very serious, it would cost so much and would have to cut the action out. So I think that's when they went back to making it an action comedy, and they got Eddie Murphy for it, and history, and everything is history after that.
Yeah.
So and Lord Toxic, what was the first time? When was the first time you saw Beverly Hills Cop?
Yeah, so I don't know what. Inside Man's all over the place. Number one, I don't think you're that much older than me. I don't know where you're getting that from. I'm actually 112 years old. Most people don't know that.
His woman put a curse on him to live.
Yeah. I've been living forever because my first wife was a voodoo priestess. But that's a story for another day. But yeah, no, I saw this when I was a kid. They had a cinema draft house. And my mom she liked to drink and smoke while she watched movies, and you could do that in the 80s. And so we went there. I conned her into seeing this because she hates black people. So I tricked her into seeing this by telling her that this was the sequel to 48 Hours. I was like, oh, yeah, because she was in love with Nick Nolte. And she was like, well, I'll watch it just for Nick Nolte. I'm like, yeah, no. He's going to be here. And, because she's stupid, she believed me. And so we went and saw this. And, luckily for me, she wasn't too angry. I mean, I was like, I think I was like 8 or 9. She did make me walk home. But she did overall enjoy the movie. So, but yeah, I was like 8, 9 years old and saw this at the Cinema Draft House. And God, man, that place was jumping. People, you could barely hear the jokes because people were laughing so hard at this movie. So yeah, God damn, it was so good.
Yeah, I'd already seen the second one because I was fucking about.
Really?
I was born in '88, 4 years after this, and I think by the time I was able to even comprehend anything whatsoever, I think it was when the third movie came out. But I'd already seen the second one. And Dad brought a tape recorded from my granddad's video machine. He had recorded it the night before, brought it over, and we watched it. And I don't think I liked it as much as I did the second one when I was a kid. But as I've gotten older, I'm like, okay, the first one is the best. It's got the plot is much better. I love these characters. It's well written It's well written. It's a bit more grittier, and it feels a bit more realistic as well. While the second one really feels like a Tony Scott big bombastic action.
Yeah, the second one's slicker for sure. Yeah, definitely.
I still like the second one, even though it's
it's great. I love it.
The plot's all over the place because it's still got a memorable Bridget Nielsen in that fucking hairdo and those sunglasses, and you got Axel Foley. You got Axel Foley, John Ashton, and Axel Foley, Taggart, and Rosewood hanging out a lot more, and it is that chemistry that makes the second one, in my opinion.
Agreed.
There's a change to the dynamic in the second one, which is quite good.
Yeah, and since Critical is back on, when was the first time you watched Beverly Hills Cop? First time you saw it?
I literally don't remember. I mean, it'd be something I would have seen probably in the 90s, I would imagine. I'm pretty sure I actually saw the third one first when it came out.
Wow.
And then saw the other two afterwards, if that makes sense.
No.
And then I rewatched the entire trilogy this week along with Axel F.
Oh wow!
So it's kind of like the Benjamin Button kind of movie watch then.
Yeah, pretty much.
Was the last thing first?
Yeah, pretty much. I definitely remember seeing the last one for number 3 first, because I was just thinking like it's a bit over the top and silly and stuff like that. And then
you watch the prequels.
Watch the earlier ones. I was like, oh, it was kind of nuanced and a bit more down to earth to start off with, and sort of lower street level type thing. But I think all 3 films and even the new one have their place. I think they all have merits. I was pleasantly surprised by Axel F.
Okay.
The new one certainly has its place.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's got its moments. It does have its moments. I think it ruins Taggart a little bit though, because I mean, he knows Axel's innocent. Yeah, he knows Axel's innocent. Yet he still takes the word over a fucking Kevin Bacon cop who's wearing suits that no cop should ever fucking afford.
Got a Rolex as well,
and the watch,
like a 12 grand Rolex.
I know. And he doesn't notice a fucking thing. He's got Axel Foley accusing him of corruption, and he doesn't even suspect that Axel Foley might be right.
There's no mystery in that film.
It kind of rules his character a bit.
I think the
first one is a classic
as well.
It's a classic. It's Eddie Murphy at his best, like wisecracking, really easily likable character. Smooth talking. Just sort of. There's a bit of a depth to him. Like he'd be serious when he needs to be, but his general demeanor is just that one of sort of letting it all hang out and just being a bit reckless and stuff like that. But there is a bit more to the character than that when it needs to be.
I'm glad you said that, Critical Al. When that part comes up, I'm going to definitely point it out where he switches gears and becomes really fucking like deadly serious. Because that made a big impact on me as a kid and later as a writer. So, but I'm not gonna bash on about it now. I'll bring it up when Luke
when we get to it.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about this movie, though, that it has the right mix of humor and seriousness, because it gives it that sort of gravitas and likability factor that it's not sort of played fully for laughs. And you can see that Axel Foley can be serious and he can kick ass when he needs to. I think that's what makes it sort of, it's held its own for so long.
The clear kind of. Sorry, mate. Go on.
I was going to say, if it had gone sort of full blown like the new one, where the comedy's just like all out slapstick, I don't think it would have kind of survived in everyone's minds for this long.
I was going to say the character was better back then. I think that there was a little bit more nuance, and a lot of people would say, "Oh, he's just stupid and he's just over the top, and how could he ever be a cop and stuff like that?" But like it says, he ends
up being smarter than the actual experienced cops, doesn't he? Like, because he breaks the rules, doesn't he? While the other cops are a bit more by the book, but he knows that's not the way to go. These criminals kind of take advantage of the book that they go by.
Yeah, I mean, Axel's sort of like the method doesn't matter as long as the result is achieved.
Correct.
Yeah. But it's never to a point where he's where he fully crosses the line either. I mean,
he's not
a moral backbone. He's
he's not
the rules.
He's not against coloring outside the lines, but he's not a Vic Mackey. He's not going to plant drugs on somebody or do something like shoot a suspect unarmed or do some crazy shit like that. It's just, but he definitely goes outside the rules that they kind of have for him.
And plus he's unlike the other cops, he is a street kid who has he's been on the other side of the law as well. He's like stolen cars, he's hung out with criminals, and it does sort of like adds more layers to him as well. It's the reason why he even though his boss gives him shit, he knows he's still got full potential. He still sees him, because I think his boss kind of sees a little bit of himself in him as well.
Yeah,
and also you got that sort of clear delineation between policing in Detroit, between that and policing in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, policing in Detroit's really fucking rough, innit? While in Beverly Hills, it's much more slicker.
He shows that there needs to be a adaptable and flexible approach to to policing, that you need to change your approach depending on what the, what's going on. And as you say, you have to be able to willing to break those rules or at least bend them a little bit. We've seen it done so many times, with other movies, probably before and since. But I do think that Beverly Hills Cop probably does it best just because of Axel Foley's character. I think, as I say, you can write it all off as superficial, and he's just like, just that cool black dude and all that kind of stuff. But there are some facets to his character that do get missed, in my opinion.
Yeah, if they went really over top with the comedy, if they went really over top with the comedy with him, he would become annoying. But no, they reel it back when they need to. Where even though he's a wisecracking smart ass, they still remember he has to be a cop. He's still very observant. He knows when something's up. He's still got. He gets hunches like a good cop should, and acts on them.
But this is I think if you were to lay the script out and just go through his dialogue, it would be pretty run of the mill stuff. But because this has been given to Eddie Murphy, he genuinely adds something completely different and fresh to what would otherwise be a pretty mundane role.
Apparently, he ad-libbed quite a bit of his stand-up and bits like that into there as well. So
you can tell.
Yeah, when he goes, Phil, I knew it was you. I can see he's imitating his dad from his stand-up because that sounds like the very same voice he does.
The drunk voice that he does.
Yeah. Aunt Bonnie's a Bigfoot. She didn't find a motherfucking Puerto Rican. I love that. Fucking cracks me up every time. The lyrics was so fucking funny. It is.
Yeah, it was good.
Still a fun stand-up.
Yeah, it's good stuff. It's got one of the most iconic bloody not theme tune. Yeah, theme tune, like jingle type thing, score that there is as well. I mean, whoever just made that up on the synthesizer,
Harold Faltermeyer, wasn't it?
Genius, just genius, I mean.
And it's so iconic as well. I mean, it probably wasn't a very expensive one as well. It doesn't sound like it, but
it's just something on the synthesizer keyboard, isn't it? But it's iconic. It's absolutely iconic. You hear that, and even the music in the film is very, very 80s, which is awesome. One of the things that disappointed me a little bit of the new one, to be honest, was
soundtrack was banging.
Yeah, it's such a good soundtrack.
I had the soundtrack because I couldn't get the soundtrack at the time to this movie. I got the soundtrack to the second movie, and I used to play the shit out of it. It was on a cassette tape.
Yeah, you got the Pointer Sisters, you got Vanity on there as well.
Oh, brilliant! Yeah,
it's 80s in a nutshell. It really is.
Yeah,
I mean, even the film itself is just 80s nearly all the way through.
I know. And you look at all these streets at the beginning. It's like you see Detroit, and it's all just rough, and it looks like everything's crumbling down, and apparently it still looks the fucking same.
I was going to say Detroit. I think it's in a doom spiral, don't they call it?
I was gonna be a smart ass and say, well, luckily Detroit doesn't look like this anymore. They've really done a lot better. It's like this is probably the best that it's looked. It's like after.
So it was actually shot. It was actually shot in Detroit as well, was it?
Yeah, I guess it would. I'm guessing it would. I don't think it's like Escape from New York where they used Detroit to pretend it was New York all gone to shit. But,
I have actually no idea where Detroit is in relation to Los Angeles. I know where Los Angeles is, but I've got absolutely no idea.
Detroit's in the Midwest, so it's like the center of the country almost.
Oh, wow. Okay. Right, okay.
Yeah. I only heard it started recognizing what Detroit was when I was a fan of Eminem, because he referenced it a lot. So, and apparently it used to be a really thriving place as well. It was like the city of the automobiles. And
it was Motor City, wasn't it? Yeah.
Motown, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then that went all from shit, and now it's just killed the city.
Felt the bits after the gasoline crisis or crises in the 1970s.
Yeah, it's stuff like that. There was like
it hit the motor. It hit the automobile trade. I mean, you had Henry Ford Motor Company was there. Chrysler was there.
General Motors.
Dodge, I think General Motors was there. Dodge, Packard.
How many of them are still there?
But it just felt the bits after. I think all of those kind of went out. They must have gone out of business.
As soon as you lose that and you lose the industry, then the place is just going to go to hell.
Yeah, and that's why we need to get back to our fucking local industry. But we're going off on tangents here. But so this is when we first are introduced to Axel Foley. I mean, if you hadn't seen the trailers back in the 80s, you're probably wondering this guy was an actual criminal as well. He's like because he's doing this deal, he's trying to import these cigarettes, and obviously these guys are trying to stiff him out. They're trying to get the stock off him, the products off him, for less than what they were supposed to be paying for. And Axel Foley's he's not fucking buying at the moment. He's telling them to go fuck themselves. Don't come back until you have the fucking money.
Yeah, they offer him $2,000 and he wants 5.
I didn't
Read
read
my lips.
Yeah.
$5,000. I need $5,000.
I didn't actually read it that way. I read it as they were trying to. I was trying to spoof. They were trying to spoof him as a cop because only a cop would settle for that low amount of money in order to get the deal done. That's how I read it.
Yeah. But he does. Yeah. And it probably is that as well, because he does mention it later on, saying if I accepted that money, they would have known I was a cop. So they could. So they could
even they said, why didn't you accept it, didn't they? You know, to do the sting.
Yeah. Sometimes when I get offered a job that's less than legal, I'll try to do like a low ball on the price or something like that and see what they say, and that way I know if it's a Fed or a cop or something. Or not me personally, me like as in like theoretically, because I would not do anything illegal. But I'm just
allegedly.
Aren't you a prostitute though?
Yes, I am a prostitute.
That's great. I heard you were having a sale the other week. I missed
you heard wrong. This ass is expensive, brother.
Dirty deeds done dirt cheap.
Do you do mates rates?
Yeah, this is actually good as well. It shows that he's not a dummy either. He's actually very smart. He's very sharp. He's very streetwise.
Well, he grew up this way, didn't he? He grew up doing
and he's been on the opposite of the law as well. So he's probably done this shit himself as a kid back when he was a bit more younger and dumber and a bit more full of more beans. Because I've known a few lads like that, and
it's just character building, isn't it? It's like building the character as you go.
Exactly.
Without sort of giving hours of dialogue telling the audience like who he is and
no exposition dumps. They just let you figure it. They trust. They give you 2 + 2 so you can make 4. They don't give you 4, which I love.
Yeah,
because when I was mentioning my Horizon video, there are shorter films that have done a better job of fleshing out the characters more coherently, and this is one example. It's a short movie, and it gets the exposition. It gets you to know these characters straight away. It
used to be the standard. You could tell that narrative, 3 acts, in and out in under 2 hours, and it's just an art that's been lost now because they just they feel the need to just expose absolutely every single little thing. Even the film I watched yesterday,
it just drags as well. You're going to bore your audience because you got to get to the point. That's what you do. I mean, films are different. They aren't like books where you can put loads and loads of descriptions to for the reader to really get all the information in. All that information has to be packed into like a few seconds of screen time.
It can be done. I mean, you can have 3-hour-long films that work on a narrative basis, but recently we've had far too many films that are just overstuffed and they haven't been killing their darlings like they should be. And it's stuff that's been left in that should have been taken out.
I mean, there's probably a few scenes on here. I think there is one, but we'll get to that later. But it's a good example of knowing that the audience will get it instantly. And the cops have shown up, so obviously that deal he was trying to do, because he's obviously undercover. He's using stuff that's basically supposed to be in evidence right now, and as a way to maybe try and nail some bigger criminals. And now it's gone tits up, and the guy fucks off, and it is looking like. The guy's in the truck as well. He's steering, and he thinks, "Fuck this, let's drive off." And it leads to a pretty good car chase as well.
I cannot get over those sirens. Although those sirens on top of the cars, they look so weird.
Yeah,
huge
that
ass
shows
sign.
just how old it is as well. This film,
The cherries, that's I think 83 was like the last year that they had those. I think
it's like a chimney stack, isn't it?
It really is, isn't it? It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm guessing they shot this film around about probably like you said, 83 as well. So
well, they would have been wrecking old cars as well, so they're not.
Yeah.
This is where the first of many vehicles get destroyed.
Oh,
Don't forget the banging track.
Nuclear carnage in this is crazy.
Yeah, you got a banging track. You see cars really getting trashed. It's amazing to watch.
Pointer Sisters doing the neutron dance.
Doing the neutron dance.
What have I created?
It's like the 80s knew there was some kind of crazy decade. Let's take advantage of anything crazy in this decade and really give every film that kind of style. And because
this film only cost $13 million to produce, and 3 of that went to Murphy. That's incredible.
It gives the film a lot of identity, in my opinion, as well.
Yeah,
when you can nail that period and that atmosphere, and in this case, it is the 80s, and you really feel it. It doesn't feel like something that's just set in that time. You know, it's a tangible thing in the film, which is really cool.
Obviously, the driver's fucked off now. Axel's he's almost gotten arrested. Thankfully, they recognise him. I know he's in deep shit.
Even just that
here as well.
Mr. 80s himself.
Yeah, it's just Paul Reiser playing himself. Paul Reiser's made a career out of just playing himself.
This is like 2 years before Aliens, I think.
Aliens that might be the only time he's played someone a bit more different, because he seems like a very nice guy in real life. So
yeah.
What was that thing he was in with Helen Hunt? Was it Helen Hunt? Was it Crazy About You?
Mad About You. Mad About You, yeah.
I used to watch that all the time. That was great.
Hey, Barbara Lawrence, thanks for joining us.
Hi, Babs.
I like that they reveal. One thing I did like about Axel F, a couple things, but one of the things is that because he kind of plays by the rules more, Jeffrey got promoted past Axel, and I like the fact that they show that picture where the two of them were in the academy together.
In the academy together, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Axel's like we say, Axel's willing to bend the rules a bit in order to catch probably the bigger criminals that are getting much attention and or haven't been discovered yet. And he's just been playing it safe as well, because when you're a cop, you got a pension to look forward to as well, and he's worried he might lose it one day. So he's kind of like a younger version of Taggart in a way.
Yeah.
But because and I think the partners as well, but because Axel keeps going off, he's going to catch shit for it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously all the fucking coppers are just taking the piss now, because that's what they do. You fuck up, they'll give you shit for it.
Yeah. This captain, I know this is a cliche with the angry black captain,
but he sells it so well. He's the best one.
I believe him in this role. Like this guy is like every sergeant major I ever had in the army, just cussing my ass out. Like every chance that they would get, this guy.
Can I say something? Sorry.
Go ahead.
Can I say something about? He's called Gilbert Hill. He's a real life, or he was a real life Detroit Police Department. He was a homicide detective.
Oh wow!
Bless him.
I know he was supposed to be a technical advisor, but because they loved him so much, they think let's actually have him play the fucking captain. I
like it. One, he basically gets he gets replicated in Last Action Hero. But the other thing I like about this is you can see that he's got a fondness for Axel.
Yes.
I know,
and he's not trying to come down on him too hard. He's trying to steer him. He's trying to mentor him. And he knows what Axel could be if Axel would just sort of...
Yeah, because even though Axel is very good, he's very good. He's still very brash, and he's
he's reckless.
Like Todd says, you don't know every fucking thing, even though you got potential.
Mm. Yeah, he said fucking about 22 times, didn't he? Every other word. It's nearly as bad as you, Northern.
I always liked how Jeffrey sort of catches a little bit of collateral gunfire from the captain because
He's like, "This is my locker."
Hiding in the background.
This ain't none of your fucking business, Jeffrey. This is not my locker.
Get the fuck out of here.
It's funny, but it feels real as well. They feel like real people away. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
They're funny because they don't know they're in on the joke.
Yeah, yeah.
And obviously, Todd's giving him shit for the sting going wrong, and
yeah,
and he's like, "Do you want to hear my side of the story?" It's like, "What's your fucking side of the story?" Let's hear your side of the story.
Oh man.
Yeah, and yeah, the mayor had to go of me. The fucking deputy had to go of me. They're all chewing my ass. I ain't got no ass left.
He's like, "No, you got
Says you've got a great ass."
I don't think cost is the issue here. I think they just should be playing disregard for proper procedures. Like, you're damn right, smart ass.
Oh man.
God, so Gilbert must have had a hard time trying not to laugh on this as well, though, because Jesus Christ.
I've got a
I think that's all
trying
they
not
do.
to crack up there, to be fair.
Yeah.
I think that's all they did on set was laugh. They reckon they did hundreds of takes for some of the scenes because they're just cracking up all the time. And Murphy was like ad-libbing as well to boot. You know.
Because even though he fucked up, it does show he's a bit ambitious as well. He does really want to do some good and clean the streets up. Even he's still kind of young, isn't he? So he's probably not been on the job for a lot of years, maybe just a few. But who knows?
I'd almost headcanon maybe the Inspector Todd here. Maybe he pulled Axel off the streets.
You stopped reading my mind. I was thinking
sorry.
Yeah, I was kind of getting
exactly the same fucking thing.
Yeah, because he probably did. Yeah, because
the mentor kind of thing. That's what I was. That's pretty much exactly what I was thinking.
Because I'll tell you what, as an ex-cop, I will tell you this: pulling a whole truck full of contraband out of the custody locker to use on a case that you didn't get approval for. I mean, shit, man, that's a serious infraction. So the fact that he even though he chews them out, he kind of lets them slide on this is and just with just the ass chewing is pretty significant.
Yeah, because I think he knows that sometimes you do have to take risks here.
Yeah.
And yeah, he probably knows that as well because he can tell this guy has been a cop for so many fucking years. He knows maybe that he probably has been playing the rules a bit too long as well, and knows sometimes you need to sort of like toe the line a little bit. But like I said, he gives him shit. He doesn't fucking sugarcoat anything to him, but there's no real malice to him either. There's because he does want it to go good, like he said.
He gives him shit, but he knows that he'll get the job done. And he kind of knows his heart's in the right place as well.
Yeah,
and I think that might be when it comes to the angry black captain. He's the best because he's not just an angry black captain chewing him out. There is kind of a father and a surrogate father figure.
Yeah,
it's a mentor. I like it.
No, exactly.
That little quiet, like you said, Luke, with that little quiet moment where he says, "Hey, you don't know every fucking thing," and he just kind of talks to him. That makes this like if he had just screamed at him the whole time, like the captain does in 48 Hours to Nick Nolte, it loses some of its teeth. But that little quiet moment where he's just kind of like, "Hey, you got potential, but you need to get your shit together a little bit." That part does a good juxtaposition between the screaming at him, and I like it. I dig it a lot.
Yeah, and the hidden dynamic that we're speculating on would also add quite a lot of weight to what happens at the start of number 3 as well. So, if he was actually like this father figure,
yeah, I was a bit weird on number 3 though because he's not as much of a shit talker as he is in the third one, and I thought it kind of needs to be. That's his character.
Yeah.
But it is obvious like he's not got his shit together because he's still driving this pile of shit car, isn't he? And it's obviously in dire need of repair, and he probably can't afford it because the brakes don't fucking work because it almost rolls.
There's a line about it later in the film as well. Which like, what you used to drive that beat up blue Pontiac?
That shitty the blue Chevy Nova, and he's like same crappy blue Chevy Nova.
And, yeah, this car should not be on the fucking road if it's doing
No,
that.
that thing's being held together by the paint for sure.
Then you think
Yeah,
I'm under the impression that cops don't get paid particularly well, so you probably can't get anything much better.
Yeah, probably especially in Detroit anyway. But and it's the same with his apartment as well. Look, there's no lock on his door; it's open. But obviously there's never a lock on there's never a proper lock on his door. But now the door's open. Now he's thinking someone might be in his apartment trying to rob it. Turns out it's just his old friend who he has not seen in years, Mike Tandito. But I forgot the actor's name. But he's been
James
on
Russo. James Russo. It's called James Russo.
Yeah, he was just in
Horizon.
Yeah, Horizon. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in it. He's looking a little older now, though, but I recognise that face, though.
Yeah.
Well, no shit. 40 years ago now, we should all feel old.
No, it's crazy. I must have seen a trailer for this before I watched the movie, because when I saw his character, I thought, how the fuck? I thought it was Hank Azaria. I thought,
yeah, real young Hank Azaria. Like, why do you get a real fucking luck? So you instantly know that these guys are friends now, and it's a short amount of time you feel the history between them straight away, and you can obviously tell as well they've been trouble. When they got into trouble, they got in trouble together, and once again,
yeah, it goes hand in hand with what you were saying, Luke, before about Eddie Murphy, like having done sort of unscrupulous things in the past, and his past's full of sort of people like this. And his best friend just happens to be a little bit of a hoodlum.
And then he's just found out he got out of jail like 6 months ago, and he's okay, well, 6 months ago, why are you coming now? And this is where we start to get a little bit more backstory into what will later feed into the plot. It turns out he got a job by Jenny Summers at an art gallery as a warehouse as a security guard, and we learned a little bit more about Jenny Summers as well, and she's another friend of theirs, and turns out she's one of the few people that got out of Detroit and is now doing better, and she managed to help him get a job as well to help him go straight away from a life of crime.
That's one of the great things about this film's script is all of this would seem like throwaway dialogue, but it's not.
Yeah, because it sounds
the
dialogue the way people would talk about in conversations, like, all right, what, like two friends catching up.
There's no filler or padding. It's just
exactly. As I say, it's just, it all informs the viewer, even if they don't really know it. It fills in the gaps. It rounds the characters. It's a very good script.
I know.
It's like what we were saying before about. Lost my train of thought. Hang on. I'll come back to that one.
But yeah, this is where we found out about the Deutschmarks as well, the bail bonds. So this is another little bit of seed that's planted to that'll later come into play with the whole plot and how and why the plot happens. It is basically the reason why this plot happens in a way. It's him stealing these bail bonds.
Man, the 80s were obsessed with fucking bail bonds.
What they just?
Right?
Aren't they hard as well? Fucking hell.
Sorry, they're bearer bonds, aren't they? Not bail
bonds.
Bearer bonds.
Yeah, what did we say? Bail bonds? Sorry. My bad.
Bail bonds like fucking bounty hunters, isn't it? Bounty
hunters. Bail bond is, my bail bond is what you guys have to pay and get a GoFundMe to get me released.
Yeah, bearer bonds, which is basically fucking cash in it, really, in a way.
Better.
Yeah, it is better than
cash.
Put it in and you get like some kind of credit, some fucking ongoing credit for a long time. Some shit.
Basically, it's a piece of paper that says that if you're holding that piece of paper and you've got that in your possession, it doesn't matter how you got hold of that. Whatever amount of money it says on that piece of paper, that money belongs to you.
Yeah, there's no recorded ownership.
There's no kind of trail.
They don't tend to fall victim to the exchange rate either. Is a good thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I've seen loads of fucking videos on people doing their own bearer bonds or promissory notes, all that shit as well. Like saying, you can do it. All you have to do is just get it fucking signed and approved by the government, and you can have like fucking millions. But I don't know. That sounds way too fucking good to be true. And plus, wouldn't that cause some kind of hyperinflation? I don't know. There's probably smarter people on there who will know that more than me.
Yeah, you just stick to YouTube and potatoes, Luke.
Yeah.
Don't be trying to do anything.
But yeah, I don't believe you can do your own promissory note and not get into shit for it. Yeah, obviously, Axel just sort of swerves it away. Like, I don't care how you got it. I'm just glad to see it. And why ruin a good time? You know, this is you've not seen your friend in fucking years, and you want to do some catching up. And this is where we found out he got the job as a security guard, and with Jenny. So both of us are going to meet her later, and she's played by, how do you pronounce her name? Lisa
Eilbacher.
Eilbacher. Yeah, very underrated actress. She was very good in this.
Yeah, she was in. Do you remember 10 to Midnight? Charles Bronson.
No.
Seen that one?
Right. You got to watch that one.
Vaguely.
I always think of the Officer and a Gentleman that she was in. I always think of that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I need to watch that.
Yeah, 10 to Midnight.
I've not seen in a long time.
10 to Midnight. Give it a go if you haven't seen it. Yeah.
I don't think there was a week when. I don't think there was a week when Charles Bronson wasn't on the telly in our house when I was a kid.
Yeah, I did actually meet him on one of the Death Wish films.
Did you? Great.
Yeah. Didn't like
As
him.
an absolute legend, man.
Nice one.
Yeah, didn't like him.
Oh,
And, no,
You like him?
yeah.
wanker.
And he didn't like me.
Oh.
So yeah. So what a way to kind of ruin a little bit of hero worship there.
How did you settle it then?
Say never meet your heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
you
it was,
car park now.
yeah.
Although he was in the film The Street Fighter, wasn't he? So he might have.
Yeah, mind you, I got to be honest. I mean, at that particular time, his wife was terminally ill, so so obviously you got to give him a little bit of leeway there. So
yeah,
but yeah, he wasn't particularly pleasant.
I would just like to meet a really cool celebrity, and I want to be a total douchebag to him so they remember me more.
Yeah.
You should watch Dennis Pennis. I don't know if
amazing.
Okay, watch Dennis Pennis. He's just this total fucking arsehole who goes up saying very fucking rude shit to all these actors, even the fucking good ones. He'll just be this total dick. It's brilliant.
Just quickly, Luke, do you remember the one where he was? I think it was at a Clint Eastwood premiere. And,
yeah. This is the Megan, most chocolate lolly in the world. Do you feel licky, punk?
Do you feel licky? It's a 65p Magnum.
Yikes!
Yeah, I was real fucking mean.
I'll never know.
It really was. It was just at the premiere of Sergeant Bilko, I think, and he went, so Steve Martin, how come you're not funny anymore?
Nice.
Did you hear what he said to Demi Moore?
Oh yeah. If it was in good taste and done with, if it was all done in good taste and respect,
consider keeping her clothes on. I think it was.
Consider keeping her clothes on. Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
And her face was a picture, wasn't it?
I had no idea how the fuck he didn't get laid out by security.
He also said
he sort of like roasted Robin Williams, but Robin Williams was like fucking on top of his game, man. He was like, he played along, and I don't know. I think Paul Kaye was actually starting to like Robin Williams a little bit though, because he seems to handle himself a bit better than any others did with him.
I imagine Robin Williams was just a very likable chap, to be honest.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bad word. I don't think there's a bad thing about him. He did a few bad movies, but I still love the guy. Fucking hell. God, rest in peace, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But this is another scene as well, which gives him a little backstory that, Mike actually was in jail because he was...
God, he really reminds me of Sam Rockwell there.
Yeah. Yeah, he does a bit.
A little bit. Yeah, he does.
Yeah. Every time you steal a car, driving like a maniac on the expressway. But yeah, it shows that he's... just how close these two are as well. He went to jail for Axel. I mean, Axel was kind of responsible for it as well, but Mike took the fucking fall, and I think Axel probably was a little bit guilty, and that probably might have maybe encouraged him to maybe try and be a bit more honest.
It's a great little bit of character development as well. And these days, it'd be told in such a more clumsy way.
A more obvious way as well. This is like read between the lines of these two.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, there's so much dialogue that you would think it is throwaway dialogue, but it's not. It is informing the audience.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's conversational dialogue. It's proper. It's kind of slightly tweaked for dramatic purposes, obviously, but it's proper, crafted conversational dialogue rather than something that's really on the nose.
Exactly. It's not like the character turning to the camera and going, "Oh, this guy is a maverick."
It gets exposition out without feeling like exposition dumps.
Yeah, absolutely.
Show don't tell.
Yes, which should always be the rule.
Yeah. Unfortunately, their fucking good time is ruined by a very kind of youngish Jonathan Banks and this other arsehole.
Yeah.
And when I first watched Breaking Bad and I saw him on it, I was like, this guy looks familiar. What have I seen him in? Because he was a lot older, he was balder, he looked a lot meaner as well. And then,
Jonathan Banks, is it?
Yeah.
It's so funny. I just did my Highlander rewatch we do every Thursday. He guest starred in an episode last night. So weird.
You watch Highlander every
I was going to say you watch Highlander every Thursday.
Yeah.
That's commitment.
Yeah. I need to watch those as well. I want to watch the series first before I start watching Toxic's rewatch on it.
Yeah, I do to be clear, I do the TV show. I do the.
Oh right, I thought you meant the movie. I was like,
no. The TV show. I go through. We're in season 2 now, so every week, a friend of mine, we could do a rewatch of it. We do 2 episodes every Thursday, and he made a guest appearance in the episode last night. So.
No, I feel terrible for
TV show. Presumably, it's better than the last couple of movies.
It's better than all the movies except for the first one, and it's on par with the first one for sure.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, there's 12 movies now, isn't there? Something like
no, there's what?
No, I think there's
an animated one as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, there's an animated one. So there's like 7 movies actually. I don't want to derail the. I'll talk about that another time. I don't want to derail the stream.
And Jonathan Banks is very convincing here as well. He's got that fucking dead-eyed look on his face as well, and
yes.
And he's a guy who really does take his craft seriously. He's like a proper actor's actor, but he looks like he could be a blue collar guy as well. And I think that's another reason why I think he's very underrated in the 80s because he seems to have been a bit more bigger as an actor after he did Breaking Bad.
Yeah, he's one of those guys
that I just think of Quint in Jaws.
Yeah,
describing the shark's eyes.
He kind right. His eyes turn black right before he kills you. But like a doll's eyes. But yeah, he's kind of had this weird resurgence in the last like 10, 15 years, hasn't he? Where he's been like always kind of been a character actor, but then doing the character of Mike, the PI in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. He's had this kind of weird like resurgence.
Yeah, I think it's one of these things where we, whenever we don't see somebody on TV or in a movie, we always sort of think that they've disappeared. But for the most part, I think they go to theatre, don't they? They, especially him. I think he's the kind of guy that you would imagine doing some really kind of off-Broadway theatre work.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
he's scary as he's gotten older. He scares me now that he's fucking older.
Yeah, he's actually scarier. He's scarier. He's scarier now. Yeah, I don't go to the theater. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but I'm a dirty American septic, and we're not cultured like that. We don't go to theater and stuff like that. So I don't even know what that is. Really. I did see,
and it's kind of weird as well.
Disney on Ice once.
Finish what you're saying first, anyway.
I saw Disney on Ice once. I don't know if that counts.
I've been to theatre a couple of times, but it's been a long time since I did, though.
All right.
I've got a level I find it fucking boring. But, that's just me. It's not for me. Thanks.
Yeah, do you think it might be more fun for the actors because they're doing it live and they aren't just sitting around the trailers waiting for the shots to get set up, which is kind of a big majority of movie making, mostly sitting around, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Wait. Yeah. Stand by and wait. Yeah.
But it's obviously Mike has underestimated these guys because they've tracked him down just over a couple of bearer bonds as well, just a couple. But obviously stealing these two is probably has caused more problems, and it's caused them to come here and take him out now for what he's done.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously not for the fact that it's a couple of bearer bonds, you know, that they're going to miss the bearer bonds. It's more the implication of what that theft could possibly lead to, or who could be led to them. So it's kind of
covering up a trail, making an example of him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even if it wasn't just that as well, it probably might make them look bad in front of the people they doing the deals with as well. If a couple go missing, the short changing them could be that as well.
And the funny thing is, if they'd never done this, Axel would never have got involved, and they probably would have got away with the entire thing.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like I'm sure they knew Axel was a cop, and it doesn't look good if they know Jenny and they know him. And they know he's an ex-felon, and they know that he swipes a few bearer bonds, goes halfway across the country to go visit his former friend who's now a cop, and he has interworking knowledge of their drug operation. I mean, yeah, you got to kill him. He's got to go for sure.
Yeah, I was thinking that as well, because
none of that looks good. That all looks really bad.
Yeah, it's one of those things you kind of have to let go because otherwise you wouldn't have a film. But yeah, I agree with Toxic. Yeah, they should have killed Axel as well. And I like the fact that I like the fact they gave him a little feeling of security as well, right before they pop him.
Yeah, it's quite harsh the way it's done, actually, to be honest.
I know, because it's filmed right on a little bit low, right at the end of the corridor. It makes you feel like you're peering through the wall and watching a real hit. So yeah, it feels like a Martin Scorsese kind of mob style hit.
It does. It does.
Yeah, 2 in the back of the head with a 2. Well, I'm guessing it was a 2-2 as well.
No, that was a 38.
Oh, 38.
Yeah, 2.2's a really small caliber.
Yeah. Yeah, and obviously Todd's he's telling him to go to the hospital, but Axel's a bit of a stubborn bastard as well. Of course, he's not going to leave his friend. It's just happened outside his apartment. He's lost someone who's very dear to him. And you know he's not going to fucking let us go.
He's out for vengeance now as well.
Yeah.
You know, this is serious Axel we're going to get now.
I know, and even Todd's like saying, no, stay out of this as well. This is a personal thing, and you're probably going to end up getting fucking killed. But the only thing that's making Axel want to do it even more is the fact that they've assigned an officer called Rand who hasn't left his desk in 12 years to investigate this case.
Yeah. Well, he knows that nothing will come out of it. You know, no action's going to be taken. It's going to be filed under paperwork, and just that's it.
I know it's just going to be another statistic.
Yeah, exactly.
And it also emphasizes more just how much Todd cares about him as well. But Axel, being himself, is very quick-witted. He's thinking, all right, I've got some vacation time coming. I'll take my vacation now. Just casually play it. And obviously, Todd is very suspicious of him. He knows he's still telling him off about it because,
But that's some Hollywood shit, because in real life, Axel wouldn't even be allowed. He'd be on a desk job pending, like they'd have him seeing a counselor and, being like he's 5 feet away from a dude that got a bullet in the back of the head. That they wouldn't let him leave town for any kind of reason. There'd be no way.
Yeah, another few little bit is with what could happen in real life then. But I think there was a deleted scene as well where Axel was in a bar, and I think he was pondering whether he should go ahead and try and find out who killed him. And some guy tells him, "Yeah, you got to go." But if it is true, and they did cut, and if it is a real scene that got cut out, I'm glad it did, because the audience gets it straight away.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think there should be any indecisiveness. That's not Axel's nature in this particular instance. Axel would he'd be hot-blooded, and his head would go, and he want to, it's surprising that he's even still there, and he asked for permission and stuff. You think he would just, Maxie was gone, but as I say, he can play by the rules, and he is a cop at the end of the day, and also he probably doesn't want to bring his captain into trouble and stuff like that. So
go rogue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you can't go completely rogue. So he bends the rules, like I said. He bends them. He doesn't break them.
And I don't like how the way he views Beverly Hills, it's like we're all seeing it for the first time as well. He's been in Detroit way too long. It's all crumbling and dirty and dodgy, and then we come to all this area, and it's like a fucking utopia in a way, you know. Till you get to the real LA, and there's a lot of fucking tents and
I was going to say, not these days so much.
Yeah, it's like flashy cars, everything. People look real clean and pristine, and he's in that fucking beat up pile of shit. But he's still gaming that fucking girl, though.
Yeah,
he knows he's not in Kansas anymore.
You're not in Kansas driver
anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, he thinks I'll go to a fucking hotel because he looks curious as well. He's like, isn't this place expensive? It's like, not for Beverly Hills. Yeah, because people in Beverly Hills can afford the expensive stuff still.
And he gets his Aldi carrier bag out the backside.
Yeah. I love how the fucking valet never gets so snooty about his car as well. He's working in this nice hotel with these much more probably much more richer people, and he's not thinking, oh my god, look at this trash car. All snooty.
He's thinking, what a classic.
Yeah. I like that, and once again, he's a good bullshitter. He can bullshit his way into fucking anything, even getting himself into a hotel room he can't afford. Yeah, tell him he's a Rolling Stone journalist, and obviously since he's they're refusing entry into a room, he starts just playing the fucking insane card, doesn't he?
Yeah, there's such an energy to him in this first film.
Well, he plays the race card, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and I think Martin Brest actually said he really did not want that line in the film. He didn't want to have race brought into it in any inch of the movie, but because Eddie Murphy was so funny, he decided to keep it in.
I think Eddie Murphy pulls it off though in a way that's not.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's any kind of message behind it. There's no
exactly,
SJW shit.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, he kind of he pulls it off in a way that's sort of like with a nod and a wink almost, if you know what I mean, rather than being totally serious about it all.
Yeah, and obviously,
you were talking about Michael Jackson. You see these two.
Yeah, especially Michael Jackson, who's got these two cars.
He laughs his tits off, doesn't he?
Yeah, this is where he's going to find Jenny as well, because he knows where she works, and he's got to tell her what's happening and find out who Mike was working for, and hopefully it might be a lead. And this is where we meet this weird shit.
Serge.
Yeah, Serge by Bronson Pinchot.
Right.
Totally improv here.
Yeah,
accent and everything.
Was it really?
So yeah, he pulled this out of his ass.
Well, this scene was supposed to be two guys. The guy that comes in later with his shirt buttons undone, it was supposed to be the pair of them. But like Martin Brest loved what Bronson was doing so much. He says, "No, give him more screen time."
Yeah,
it's so funny.
Yeah,
it's really funny. I mean,
what?
Eddie Murphy's obviously trying not to laugh.
What?
This is the bit that had me dad rolling about on the floor.
Yeah. This is
what
great.
Is it pertaining?
Pertaining? What a meaning for you?
It's a very special pace.
No, get out, because it's a special pace.
Yeah, that's like a bad rock. It's not sexy.
It's true.
Yeah, it's not sexy, but it's not sexy at all. All of how he replies back. It's not sexy at all.
You want something? I make a little wine spritzer with a cocktail. It's like Bronson Pinchot walked so that Borat could run. In my opinion, like he sells this. We've all been at one point or another run into one of those weird ass accents. You're like, what is that accent? How are you talking right now? Like,
yeah, they just sort of put you on the spot a little bit, and you're trying to be polite. It's
Yeah, I hate to admit that sometimes when we're streaming, this is what you sound like to me, Luke. This is
I am. I'm really trying to reel it back, but it still comes out. My fucking Hull accent really fucking comes out, and I don't pronounce my T's and I don't enunciate properly. But
I think it's the whole peanut butter at the roof of your mouth talking. I think that's usually.
Jesus.
There's no peanut butter in my mouth.
God, she's so gorgeous.
Yeah, she was fucking stunning. I think she's very underrated as an actress here.
I wonder what
Born
she
in
looks
Saudi Arabia, she was.
Get the fuck out of here! Really?
Yeah. She's only 68 years old now. If anyone's still interested.
I mean,
I've seen her lately. She looks like she's had a bit of work done, and God, come on,
she's still got the scaffolding up. Bit of
that is unfortunate
because she kind of looks like she could have been a really good-looking older lady. Just age naturally a little bit. Just look after yourself, work out a bit. And
what you gotta understand is, man, in the 70s, all well into the 90s, chicks, especially like famous ones, they were not told, hey, don't smoke because it's going to age you 30 extra years. And if you try to quit, you're going to turn into a linebacker. Like, nobody told them that. Like, so all the hot chicks smoked. And, so they either look like leather, like saddlebags, or they pork out like Bridget Fonda after they quit smoking. So it's like one or the other. Yes. And at the end of the day, women are only useful till they're like 30 anyway. So once they get past that, they're
I think that's why, Jane Seymour still looks good at 70. I think she's 75 now, because I don't think she ever fucking smokes.
No, I would be shocked if she smoked.
Yeah.
She smokes baloney.
No. That's someone's daughter and someone's mother. How dare you?
Stop ogling Chris Hemsworth. That's someone's son.
Sorry about
that.
It
doesn't work. Doesn't work because double standards, sadly. But once again, just like with Mike, we buy the relationship with them straight away. I mean, the little banter, the little back and forth they have. I mean, these two have good fucking chemistry, but they don't look like they want to fuck each other either. They look like they're just glad to be hanging out with each other again.
Yeah, no, it seems like she would be like the tomboy in their like little trio growing up. Like they were all kind of street kids. And she probably was the little tomboy girl that they were like, she was trying to keep up with the two boys doing wild shit in the streets. And like Axel, she found something better and maybe went to college and got her shit together a little bit. But you could still, the way that she acts and the way that their chemistry, you could see, well, two things. One, you could see that they have good chemistry and she still has a little bit of that street left in her with the stuff that she does, and loyalty to Mikey, because she seems seriously upset when he tells her. Like, she looks like she sells it really well. And then
she did try to help Mikey as well. She got him a job just so he wouldn't go back to fucking crime, which a lot of ex-convicts do, though, because
we do. Yeah,
it's a sad thing. I've known plenty who I've tried to go straight, but end up going back there and end up fucking themselves up even more. It's a fucking shitty thing that happens, but it does.
Yeah.
How do you think this movie would have panned out if Mickey Rourke had kept in the scene?
Jesus, I can't even.
Yeah, because he almost got the role, didn't he? Because he was just coming off 8.5 weeks, but I think he had another commitment and it didn't work out.
I think if they'd have gotten somebody else, I'm sorry, buddy. If they'd have gotten somebody else, I think it just would have been a generic cop movie. I think Eddie
totally agree.
Al Pacino was in the running. Al Pacino, James.
That can't be true. Is that true?
Richard Pryor, they asked. Harrison Ford.
What?
Harrison Ford?
Yeah, I can see this. I can see Mickey Rourke being a bit more darker though, but thank God, because you could never deliver the one-liners the way Eddie Murphy did. It's
I think you'd lose all of the wisecracking and the the cons.
I see him as a street cop, but I don't see him as a wisecracking street cop though.
Yeah.
At least not in the same league as Eddie
Imagine
Murphy
Harrison
anyway.
Ford. Imagine Harrison Ford.
Oh
Jesus
my God.
Christ.
Big plank.
He'd be too manly. Axel Foley still has a bit of a boyish charm to him, though.
He'd be like, "Get the fuck out of here!
Yeah.
Get off my lawn!"
Yeah, I don't see Harrison Ford putting his hands on his ears while Paul Reiser is berating him, going, la, 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 I'm not listening to you. It just will not work.
Wow, I understood every word of what you just said. Do that accent all the time.
But yeah, she fucking sells it. She's very underrated as an actress, and I'm a bit sad I haven't seen her in more stuff, not even recently.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if she doesn't look good anymore, I don't want to see her in shit.
But this is where he finds out that Victor Maitland was the guy who she talked to into getting him the job, and once again, it's another lead that might lead him somewhere. And once again, blagging his way into fucking places that are restricted, pretending to be a florist, and he's desperate to do his job as well, otherwise he'll get fired. It's like he's playing on his sympathies a little bit to get in there, the same way he does to the secretary at the gun club with the fake bomb, even though it's vitamins.
Yeah. I will admit to you that I'm a little guilty of plagiarism because I do model my main character in my books after Axel a little bit with the way that he just kind of like flies by the seat of his pants, the way that he does shit in order to get into places he shouldn't be in. So I will admit that I've somewhat stolen a little bit from this, but I mean, it's, what are you going to do?
Yeah, well, it's like, what is it? Like Jordan Peterson said, like even some, because he kind of says that like sometimes you have to be a bit disobedient in order to achieve good. I mean, because he uses Harry Potter as an example, whether you love it or hate it. Harry Potter still breaks the fucking rules in order to get the villains. And that's kind of like what Axel Foley does as well. But he doesn't. But like I said earlier, he doesn't go too far enough. He never becomes Vic Mackey or Dirty Harry or anything like that, or Gene Hunt in Life on Mars. He's still honest. He just bends the rules a little bit. He just sort of like doesn't go too by the book.
Yeah.
Because the bureaucracy has really fucking killed police work. It's like too much red tape, and it's preventing them from doing their jobs, and he knows that. And obviously, we know Victor Maitland is guilty because we've got this fucker sat next to him in the same room, and he's played by none other than Stephen Berkoff.
One of the greats, I think, one of the great British actors. One of the best in his generation.
And I think this was one he was really starting to get put into the villain roles a lot after this. Or was it before this?
I think this this is before Rambo. This is a year before.
Yes, before Rambo. I mean, the one that springs to mind more than anything. Again, it was another movie that I saw at the cinemas, and that was, I mean, that was an X certificate. This is how far it's going back. In 1980. So obviously you had to be 18 plus to get in, but because I was particularly tall, I managed to get in. But it was in a movie called McVicker.
Yeah, I've seen that with Roger Daltrey.
Yeah, he was really good in that. Really good in that.
Yeah, and he wasn't very grey as well. He actually had a nice mop of black hair then as well. He was a bit younger. But that's a very underrated prison film, that as well, about a real life prisoner who just was constantly escaping prison and was constantly disrupting everything, causing trouble with the guards. And it's a very good film.
It is a good film. I mean, particularly because most of it is total fiction.
Oh yeah,
I mean, a lot of it was it's like a fictionalized account of a real person, and it just. Because it was written by John McVicker, wasn't it? The story was written by John McVicker, but yeah, I mean, Stephen Berkoff, a brilliant actor, very much a Shakespearean British actor, and does a lot of Chekhov and all that kind of stuff. How interesting! But
he's got to be in his 90s now, though.
No. I think he's in his 80s, and he's still going. But
is he really?
Yeah, I mean, I actually, I'm sorry to name drop, but it was another one that I met and worked with a couple of times, and I really liked him as a really lovely man. Even though he comes across as being a complete shit in most of the films that he's in.
Funny,
they always do though, don't they? They always do, these nice guys. It's like they're unleashing that dark side one because it's like they're getting something off their chest a little bit when they play these horrible people.
Well, it's like Alan Rickman, one of the nicest dudes in the world, but you always just ends up playing this severe character.
Stephen Burkoff's 87 years old, apparently.
There you go.
So he's getting close to his 90s then. But yeah, fucking good on him though. Good
He's
on him
from
for
Romanian and Russian descent as well.
Oh, okay.
He had Jewish grandparents that emigrated in the 1890s.
I like the fact he doesn't really hide his fucking evil as well. Even when Axel tells him that Mike was killed, and he's like, "Oh God, that's terrible."
You just read my mind, because I was always, as I got older, I was like, man, he sure is not trying to sell this very well. He's just basic. Oh,
I almost thought, is he doing a bad job as an actor? But I think maybe that's the point, because he's a psychopath. He's got no conscience. He doesn't know how to.
Yeah, I think it's also because he just doesn't take Axel seriously. Axel just looks like a street thug, that's just like, he's just like, like he tells him later, you're just a little cockroach to me, just bugging me a little bit. And I when I was younger, I didn't get it, but as I've gotten older and I've rewatched this movie, I'm like, man, he just is. He does. You might as well have just said, yeah, I killed him.
I think Axel already knows straight away. It's like, even when I think it's the moment he says, well, how did it happen? Detroit is a very violent city, isn't it? And he's obviously suspicious of him. He's not exactly coming across as a fucking decent guy at all. He is very coming across as a guy who's hiding something. That's when he goes, what was it he actually did for you here? And that's when he gets pissed off as well. And he doesn't berate him or shout at him as well. He just plays it calmly as well. He's like, it's almost like he's thinking to himself, okay, he's on to me though, but if I get rid of him, he won't be able to prove anything, because in the end of the day, it's all about proof, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he calls the fucking guys in to drag him out, and we've got that real great.
The fact, did he really have half a dozen guys on standby? What are they in, like a ready room, just waiting?
Yeah,
just
someone
waiting for the boss.
This trailer did as well. They all came out this one room like they were waiting in there for a fucking long time.
The henchman room.
The fucking goon squad is just pops out of nowhere.
And I just love the fact, rather than opening the door, they just put him through the window.
Yeah, it's modern day though. Those goons will be doing TikTok videos while waiting to throw someone out through a fucking window.
Yeah.
Like a little dance routine as well while they're waiting to do their job.
Look at that. Look at that stunt. That is a good stunt right there.
Yeah, it's a good stunt. Yeah. Really good.
Still manages not to get fucking covered or.
What a great image.
Yeah.
And the fact that Axel is like incredulous, he's just like, "Are you shitting me right now? You guys threw me out a fucking window."
The fuck is this shit? And the police just show up straight away, and is like, "You see that? I can describe all of them." All of a sudden, they arrested him. Just like, what? I got thrown through a fucking window, man. What's the penalty for first time a moving vehicle? Jaywalking. And he's totally calm after as well. He's like he's not even bothered about he's being thrown out of a window and just arrested for being thrown out the window. He's just marveling at how clean the fucking car is and how big it is.
I think he's quietly pissed off as well, because I think he's obviously worked out who's killed his best mate. So,
I know. It's and he's looking at a police station as well. It's like, this is not like Detroit. He's got a fucking phone in his cell as well. And he's like, can I stay longer? Because I ordered some pizza.
Somebody will eat it.
And I think that all his stuff was previously going to be used in war games before Martin Brest got off of it. Yeah. You see it a little bit.
Damn.
I think, didn't they build it, but they didn't get to use it. So he thought, well, it's already there. Let's not waste money on building new stuff.
Yeah, I don't think Beverly Hills Cop's departments was like that in real life in the 80s, but it's like his point of view as well. It's like he's come from this really grubby, sort of like grimy police department, and he's seen this much more advanced one as well, and it's like looking into the future.
Yeah.
And it's clean.
I know. This is where we meet Rosewood and Taggart, played by Judge Reinhold and John Ashton. God, these two are fucking good as well. Taggart really does come across as an experienced cop who's not really done much dangerous jobs the way Axel has, and he's just trying to keep his head down a bit so he can retire with his pension and probably hope his wife doesn't give him shit when he gets home.
I would like to point out that Taggart, John Astin here, is 5 years younger than I am now. That's crazy.
Fuck.
That is
Nope.
fucking crazy.
I am the same age he was when he did this movie. Right now, I'm 35. I think he was 34, 35. That's true.
Wow.
I am the same age he is when he did this film.
I'm just confused now.
Uh,
I don't know how old I am anymore.
yeah, watching these old films really remind you of your own mortality a little
I
bit.
used to be the same age as the time when I was a bit younger, and then a couple of years after that, yeah.
Yeah, when a movie you've seen in the cinema hits 4-0, that's when you're
Jesus
just
Christ.
like, you're just like, holy shit.
But when a movie that you've seen at the cinema hits full seat and you were 18 at the time when you saw it,
God, you are old as
That's it.
Yeah,
fuck.
that's worse.
Holy shit.
Definitely worse.
Yeah, dear Lord.
Is it too late to get you to put me in your will, Inside Man? Because I don't think you got a lot of time left, brother. I mean,
I don't know. I'm exactly the same as you. I've actually got a painting up in my attic that keeps changing while I made this deal with the devil.
Oh no! Well, mine's more like scientific. All my STDs keep me alive and together.
Yeah, and this scene. So apparently, Victor Maitland has told him that he went berserk and jumped out the window, and they believe him. And he's astounded that these cops are actually believing this fucking story instead of using their brains and figuring out that it's bullshit. And obviously, because they're much more straight-laced cops, the cost to believe him because he still looks like some street thug that's come off the streets.
Mm.
And obviously, they get into a bit of an argument, and Taggart loses his cool and fucking strikes him, and that's when we meet Ronnie Cox as well, who's
Legend.
yeah,
Fucking
absolutely
legend.
legend. Yeah. But I like the fact that even though they're straight faced and really by the book, you know, they are totally fucking serious, sticking them us. You do see later that they do have some kind of sense of humor, especially.
Well,
later.
he gradually wins them over. He wins their respect,
Yeah.
especially when he tries to take the fall a little bit later on.
Yeah, that's a great scene as well. Obviously, Taggart is a dedicated cop. He obviously realised he has been reminded that he's done wrong as well. So he does apologise for the attack, and Bogomil goes straight on. Do you want to file charges against him? Because they're by the book. If an officer strikes the person they've arrested, it's assault.
So just
Like,
read
Axel isn't vindictive or anything like that. You know, a vindictive person would be like, yeah, I'll do that. But Axel's just like, no, it's just shit that happens, you know.
Yeah.
I know. Plus, getting rid of another cop who made a little mistake and he's probably just trying to do his job. It's of course he doesn't want the guy to lose his job, so he doesn't press charges. And obviously they're trying to find out what he was doing at Victor Maitland's office, and he doesn't. The last thing he wants to do is let them in on what's happening at the moment, because who knows? It could. He doesn't know these people.
Yeah, for all he knows, they could be some kind of business associates of Victor Maitland or something.
I know. And so since he doesn't give them anything, they put him into the cell and have him arranged for bail. And I like the fact that he doesn't seem to hate him as well. He kind of admires just how polite they are as well. And they aren't fucking roughing him up like the other coppers probably are doing in Detroit.
Yeah, I do like the fact there's some consequences here. They don't just go, "Oh, you're a cop. Okay, you can go." They book him, and he has to get bailed out. Jenny has to come bail him out.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit! Like there was actual consequences to his actions and the things that happened. They're just like, okay, you're gonna go sit in jail for a little while and until somebody bonds you out like a regular criminal.
Yeah, no, because they have them written like grown-ups who are professionals, and professionals who are also human.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously Jenny bails him out as well because she's a good friend, and he has to get out of jail as well. He has to find out who killed Mikey.
Yeah.
Yeah, is this your car? Oh no, we just found any car we like and pick it off the street.
That's a great line. That's a great line.
You know, the scary thing is these days that's probably true.
And yeah, that line as well about I remember when you drove that crappy blue Chevy Nova. What are you driving now?
Chevy Nova.
Crappy.
Same crappy blue Chevy Nova.
He gets a little self-conscious, but he does take it with good humour as well. And there's once again, he doesn't feel insulted by it, like she's laughing. He goes along.
He never takes offence really, really quickly or anything. He's really easygoing kind of guy. You know, he's lived the bad life. He's now living a better life, and he's like, yeah, this is all fine.
I think one of the aspects of this that really makes this film work is the platonic relationship between the two of them, and the fact that there's no distracting love interest.
Yes.
That kind of gives you that kind of little side story that you think, oh fuck, no, not again.
Yeah. Now just imagine what a remake could be like.
I cannot stand unnecessary romantic stuff. Like sometimes you can just be friends with people. Like it's not, and it's even worse now because if it's two chicks in a scene, they got to be lesbians.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
You know, like
it's going to be Amanda Foley, isn't it?
Oh.
Yeah.
Amanda Foley. Beverly Hills Cop. The hero's journey.
I know they never come across like there could be a couple. They just come across like friends. That's it. Some people have different chemistries with each other.
That's the good thing about it, though. There is no will they, won't they. It's just we know that they won't. And it gets on with the story that needs to be gotten on with.
So they're friends. They've got each other's backs, but that's all there is to it.
Yeah, they probably grew up on the streets. All three kids were poor kids. They've all, in some way or another, at least tried to make their lives better. You know, I never heard two dudes in a movie talk the way that him and Mikey talked in the. I'd never heard a dude say, you know, hey, I took the rap for you because I love you. You're my friend. Like, you know, I talk like that all the time now. But like when I was a kid, I'd never heard anything like that before.
Gay.
Yay! So,
what are you gay?
I fucking preach, yeah. You got the banana and the cucumber. The banana goes inside the tapak. Whatever the fuck it was. It was like, the banana does not go into the butthole, okay?
It goes in the tailpipe.
It's great. It's great.
The banana does go in the tailpipe for sure.
Banana in the tailpipe.
Oh yeah, speaking of bananas, this is where he discovers that Rosewood and Taggart have been tailing him, because I forgot to mention earlier that Bogomil has been in contact with his boss Todd, and obviously they're going to treat him like he is on vacation, but if they suspect that he is with investigating Victor Mayland on the Tandito murder, can't get the name right, sorry, Tandito murder, then yeah, he will get fucking arrested and fired. So they're obviously suspicious with him, so Rosewood and Taggart are now the guys tailing them at the moment. And obviously, they aren't very good at fucking keeping inconspicuous, are they? Because Axel Foley spots them straight away.
Well, they've probably never shadowed a cop before.
Yeah. Yeah, they've probably done a lot of boring jobs as well, because it's Beverly Hills. It's not Detroit where there's probably fucking crime around every single corner.
Well, I think in Detroit you have to be really street smart, which obviously informs Axel's character. Whereas in Beverly Hills, as you say, it's probably
more elite in it,
boring stuff, and you know.
And this is where he does start to tell Jenny that he is gonna stay, but until he finds out who killed Mikey. And but obviously he's got to fucking knock the tip. He's got to shake Rosewood and Taggart off as well. So yeah, just orders a nice fucking meal for him as a nice little distraction, and it's a good meal as well.
So I love this bit of the film, especially with Rosewood. With the
yeah. How do you know we're here? They'll let you drive. And yeah, it's good. It means that these guys. It means there's a sense of humour in these sort of straight up type coppers as well. These much more formal coppers. It's a very funny line though, but it's not against their characters either.
Well, again, it's sort of like almost like a throwaway type thing, and you know, it's a comedy beat moment, but it does inform the audience of something about the characters, which is great.
Yeah, and this is Damon Wayans as well. I think this is like his first acting role as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, the web guy right here, the peach and some plums and some apples and lots of grapes. All I need is some bananas.
$12.50 for a fucking fruit plate in 1984 is expensive as shit.
Hell.
Like 75
Jesus.
bucks, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Yeah,
The
that
broad-
is a lot. Yeah, these are Beverly Hills bananas. Fucking rip-offs. But he
supposed
just
to be a
gives them
potato, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Supposed to be a
Yeah.
potato in the tailpipe or something.
Yeah, it was.
But
It was originally,
yeah.
yeah, but I don't think
Yeah.
it worked anyway, which is a shame. No, I would have loved the potatoes in the tailpipe more.
I
for
bet
the
you
non-biased
would.
reason.
I bet you would.
It's going to add to
Actually-
the budget of the movie because they had to.
Actually, I've got a little bit of a story about this, right? So,
Let me guess. You,
Right,
you
but-
work. Wait, I already know. You worked with a particular banana that was in this movie, and he was
No,
a really
no.
nice guy.
no, it kind of works. It kind of it kind of plays on something that Luke had actually just said.
You
well-
were a potato.
Well, many years ago, my mother used to be a nurse, and she used to work in A&E. And every now and again, you get an unusual case where somebody would be brought in and they'd, maybe harmed themselves in some way.
Oh, I can see where this is going.
Anyway, a guy came
Probably
in.
Bryson by any chance. is it?
A guy came in and he had a potato lodged where it actually put it up his arse and it had gone right the way in and he couldn't get it out. And it's true story, absolutely true story. And of course, when the doctor came in and my mum was there, trying to keep the guy calm because he was really, really panicking. And the doctor said, how did that potato manage to get its way into your anus? And he
You ran out of carrier bags in
he
Asda.
said, well, I was actually just starting to peel some potatoes. He said, but I like to do my dinner when I'm naked. He said he slipped over on one of the potatoes and fell onto it, and it somehow made its way up his arse. And yeah, so true story that.
I
True
mean, I
story.
feel like his story is probably not that true as far as that goes.
I think Richard Gervais actually said a story very similar, except it was with a bottle of ketchup, and the doctor would have found the story plausible if there wasn't a fucking condom on top of it.
Christ.
It sounds
So
a bit
that's
weird.
That's my potato in the tailpipe story.
I appreciate you sharing that with us.
You're all welcome.
Talk about smudging.
That's going to
now.
be a highlight. That's going to
Fucking scarred for life now.
Yeah.
like how Damon Wayans just fucking lets him have him. Is like I don't know why, but it's still funny anyway.
You just take those bananas. You just take those
Yeah.
bananas.
Just
Yeah,
helping out,
he
brother.
suspects he's going to shove him up his ass. It's like I like to do the same. You're not the only one. Damon Wayans it's a small role, but fuck man, he makes me laugh in that scene. Even this guy's kind of in on the distraction.
Yeah, like this guy's cool too, man. This guy's just like, all right, yeah, you're fucking with these cops.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
cool. I got it.
The people in the hotel seem to be really fucking taken with Axel. They'll help him
Well,
out in any jam.
Because Axel is, he's got a sweatshirt and jeans on and sneakers. He's a street guy, and these people who are serving these rich people and dealing with, they're just like, he's one of us. Yeah.
That and Axel is just really like a really easy guy to like. It's just part of his persona.
Yeah, because like you said, if it was with Mickey Rourke or fucking Harrison Ford, it would not be that convincing that these guys would help him out. Yeah,
I don't think the film would be recognizable. I really don't.
No,
It would have been forgotten about.
Jokes.
Probably would have been forgotten about as you walked out of the cinema.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're quality actors in their own right, and it probably would be a good film. But I just don't think you're going to have anything like the same film.
No.
Yeah, it depends on the energy of the actor as well and what script he's written.
But I think Toxic was right. I think if it was anyone else, it would have been just a run-of-the-mill, mundane cop movie, and that would have been it.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fucking car concert. It's still fucking funny though. And obviously they're going to go down to the warehouse, one of the warehouses anyway, where Mikey was supposed to have worked at. And she is a bit worried about it as well. It's like, don't worry, if you hear shit being broken, that's just me breaking into the place. Just sit tight. Obviously, she goes with him as well. Like, she sticks with him. She doesn't wait in the car. She sticks around. She helps him. And this is where we found the coffee grounds, and it means fuck all now. It doesn't mean anything at the moment. And Axel knows straight away something's up.
Yeah. See, that's funny because I remember watching this with my mom, and right away when they found the coffee like that, my mom was like, "Oh, cocaine." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Obviously, before they can even have a proper look, these guys come in, and this is when they see the bearer bonds as well that Mikey had stolen. So they know something's up. And I like you get these little exchanges with these guys fucking complaining as well. Like, these are just two ordinary guys just doing the job, you know. They're not happy there. They're just. It probably pays better than any other job they could have gotten. So they're making dough. And this is where Axel fucking tails them, and this is where I will go on to the next folder for the next scene.
Dun, dun. Join us for a brief intermission. Into Beverly Hills
it gets its point across though. This film, it's very well paced. It doesn't fuck about. It doesn't drag. It doesn't lead any unnecessary scenes that it doesn't need.
Well, Jenny becomes a convenient plot device for a number of reasons, and at the very least, instead of us just watching Axel kind of, you bouncing around doing this stuff, he has to kind of explain himself to Jenny a little bit, which in that way he's explaining it to us. So there's no need for expository dialogue or narration or anything like that, and you're also not kind of left behind in the story. So we're following Axel along in his investigation a little bit. So in that way, he does it. And like you say, he does it in a very unorthodox manner. When he gets into places, would it be a little easier just to flash his badge and say something? Yeah, it would, but he can't just, and yeah, he does use the badge when he needs to, but he can't just say, "Hey, I'm a Detroit cop," because people will be like, "Well, fuck off then. This is Beverly Hills. We don't care." So he comes up with these little, con man scenarios and stuff, and gets himself inserted in the places that he needs to. So yeah, he's a real sharp cop, man. I like it.
Yeah, because he's known his tricks as well, hasn't he? I mean, we see more of that in the second one where he's using the chewing gum wrapper to pull the alarms.
The hacks, as it were.
Yeah. This is where they track down the truck to another big warehouse that's full of all these shipments, and it does.
Because how old is he in this movie? Eddie Murphy, he's like what, mid-20s?
22.
Yeah, he was very young. Very young.
He was young. Yeah, he was very young.
22 or 23.
Jeez.
I think he was 21 when he did 48 Hours, wasn't he?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
And usually these roles go to people in their 30s as well because they've matured out a little bit more as well. They look like guys have had more experience, but the fact that he's really young and still a very boyish guy, but still convincingly tough is that's a really hard thing to pull off, and he did it so well here.
As I say, the youthful energy that he has in this film, he never really has in any of the others, which is one of the reasons why this stands out so much.
Yeah. Well, he did a little bit of a Will Smith here because it's like this was like the third year in a row he was in like a hit action comedy. He had done 48 Hours, and then he did Trading Places the next year, and then this was the following year. So like back to back to back, he pulled that off. I don't know if they were summer movies or what. I guess it doesn't really matter. But you have 80, 82, 83, and 84, and it's just him, multiple times.
I think he had something like 7 in a row, number one.
Did he fucking?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
He dominated the 80s. He really did.
From Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah, Golden Child, Beverly Hills Cop 2, Coming to America.
I forgot Golden Child. Yeah, God, I forgot that one.
Harlem Nights, another 48 Hours, I think.
And then he goes on to do the Clumps and Norbit and stuff like that.
Boomerang.
All actors have that though, don't they?
Yeah.
Vampire in Brooklyn.
I didn't mind Bowfinger as well from the 90s. I think that's a very underrated comedy in my opinion.
Don't forget Shrek.
Yeah, he kind of brought him back a little bit as well, Shrek and Shrek 2 and that, and
his finest hour.
Yeah, but then he started getting involved in all these other very bad like kid comedies like Daddy Daycare and Meet Dave, which was fucking shite.
Trading Places did quite well as well, didn't it?
Yeah. Which one was it again?
But
Trading Places.
Yeah.
Trading Places.
83.
Yeah,
that was fucking great. That film. Him and Dan Aykroyd as well. Great chemistry, even though they don't exactly team up together until the very near the end.
But his crappy movies of late have really been there for alimony, really, haven't they?
Yeah, he's got like 10. He's got like 10 kids.
Like his alimony and child support bill.
Yeah, probably paying off the transsexual as well.
I forgot about that.
I've never understood why famous people do that. Not the transsexual part. Well, I mean, I don't understand that either. But I've never understood why they like pay all this like alimony. Like all these billions and millions of dollars that you're spending. You could just hire someone to just make her have an accident. Like I don't understand why. I mean, I'm just saying, like $100,000 is an easy hit. I mean, that's a baseline price.
Yeah, their kids are going to be ex-cons anyway, so who fucking cares?
Yeah, right. Yeah. So I mean, yeah. OJ had the right idea. God bless him.
But it kind of goes back to his stand-up where he was talking about celebrities having to pay fucking half to the women that are using them as well. It's like it's happened to him now. It's happening to him.
Yeah.
That's why loads of them do prenups now, don't they?
Yeah.
If you're smart, anyway.
Yeah, if you had $5 and you had to give a woman $250, you'd be upset, right? But once again, we've seen him doing what he does best, bullshitting there, which is probably why Todd sees him as a good cop, because he can get information the way others can't.
Right. He does it with such conviction that he gets away with it as well. That's the thing.
Because he can convince them as well. He's very good at playing on them psychologically as well, and he's a bullshit artist, and he's very good at it.
You know, you do just get this feeling of this criminal who's gone straight and is now working for the cops, but he's got all the advantages of his use of his time being a criminal that he can call upon, if you know what I mean.
I know, because I mean he's probably giving these honest people a bit of an hard time, but you know he's onto something now, and he has to sort of like be a little bit mean in order to achieve it.
Yeah, again, he's never malicious though. You know, he bends the rules. He doesn't break them really. He's still got a code, and you know, it's a good character. It could be so easily to make something like that a caricature rather than an actual character, and I'm glad it didn't go that way with this film.
This Taggart and Rosewood was really missing in the new film, and
it was. It wasn't until the end when they started teaming up, and it was like it's way too late now.
Because they were told to play this as like an old married couple.
This is what got them the gig in the first place when they went to the what they're called, the
audition. You did like a dual audition then.
Martin Brest said to them, "You've got to pretend that you're an old married couple that's been married for years."
Yeah, Rose was like the wooed wife, and
they're like 5 pounds of meat or something.
I just noticed that you eat a lot of red meat, and I'm just concerned for you.
Yeah, they nailed it. It's another great character dynamic. I was actually thinking the other day that it's a real shame we never kind of got a spin-off solo film with them, because I'd watch that.
That would have been class.
Yeah, they got good chemistry them too as well. Rosewood's obviously still a little new to the job though. Taggart has been
he's naive, he's gun ho, he's sort of like he reminds me of the Nick Frost character in Hot Fuzz.
Yes.
Yeah, he does a little bit. Yes. I see that a little bit. Yeah, there's kind of an innocence to him, isn't there?
He's innocent, but he wants to have all the big gun battles. He wants the action adventure. And if you look at his house or his apartment, he's got all these action posters up everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he really evolves in the second one. He's like he's had experience with fucking action, and he wants more.
I love him in the second one where he's dual wielding those shotguns over his shoulders.
I know. Yeah, he's got. Yeah, he has to pull out a fucking trench coat and wear that as well. It just I mean, that's not going to be any use as well. But he wears it anyway because he wants to look fucking cool while taking down villains. It's
By that
Judge
point,
Rittenhouse
he's living the dream. By that point,
yeah, and he seems really fucking into it when he's trying to work that rocket launcher as well. It's like.
It's like a little bit farcical, but you kind of let it go because it balances in with the rest of the movie. I know we're talking about the second one now.
It's that dumb look on his face as well when he's doing all this crazy shit that makes it funny.
He's like a child with a box of toys.
Yeah, and I just anytime Axel Foley's just bullshitting his way into any places that would have kicked him out straight away just makes him more better as well. And he plays it well. Right. He plays the angry inspector, like trying to come down on them very well.
As I say, such conviction. Such conviction. He's got, and
you just got to be confident.
Keeps him off balance as well.
Yeah.
He's probably conned a lot of people out of fucking petty cash in his day as well. You watch.
I think he probably did it. I think he did do that, but I don't think he did it for like money. I think he probably did it like as a kid for like food and stuff. Like got himself, pretended to be a bike messenger and stuff. When I've got to serve subpoenas on people and stuff, I'll grab my DoorDash bag and look at my phone and I'll pretend like I'm dropping off a sandwich or something. So I mean, it's a lot, and as long as you act confident, then people usually don't question. Although I like that he kind of pushes him, gives the guy shit. He's like, "How could a black man dressed like me get into your secure facility?"
I know. Plus, it makes him look like the inspector is deliberately dressed like that to trying to think of the fucking term, but he's obviously done that as well to make him think that he's done it deliberately to
right, as a like as like a kind of a test, like a
like a test. Yeah, that's it. That's fucking brain is going on me at the moment. Actually, it's always going on me. What am I saying?
Wow, you got a lot. You're hosting the show. You got a lot.
That's why you got 4 other people.
No, I need to get my head together. Fuck.
Between the 5 of us, we add up to one functioning brain potentially.
Yes.
Yeah.
And one amazing penis.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Good for you guys.
I do love these scenes with Taggart and Rosewood as well because we're getting to know them as well. Because before we've only just seen them interrogating Axel Foley over the whole Maitland incident, and
you picture the fact that these guys have sat doing surveillance or doing security in this car before. This is nothing new, and it's usually Rosewood reading some dumb shit article while Taggart's trying to just get through his shift, and he's just like listening to him prattle on with a bunch of bullshit. He's just, I just see that you eat a lot of red meat. It's like, you seem really stressed
between them. TV series or something. Oh, we should have got something out of it.
I know. And this scene is where all this information, what they're investigating, doesn't really make any sense until later, isn't it? And once again, he plays the hard-boiled fucking inspector, and he's like, "Is that your car right there? I bet you I can see a lot of guys out here to call up their ass with a fucking microscope. I've seen them do it. It's not a pretty sight. It's not my Ferrari, sir. You got nothing to worry about then."
Hurry up, quicker.
Yeah, obviously his back as well. Yeah, he probably did feel a little bad about the whole banana thing as well, and he is sort of like trying to sort of like find common ground with these two guys because,
to be fair, if you're going to make up sticking a banana up somebody's tailpipe, taking them to a strip bar is a good move.
But I think it hits him as well when he realizes that they lost 2 days' pay from the incident, and he obviously feels real bad about that as well because he's just got these two in trouble, and he does. And once again, he's trying to find common ground with these two guys as well because they are cops, and if he's going to find all this evidence, he's going to need cops in the area that's going to do all the investigating anyway. Because he's not going to be able. He's not going to take down Maitland, is he? He's a Detroit cop, not a Beverly Hills cop.
Yeah, he's going to need them no matter what. And I think he is, for all of his bullshit, I think he is actually being sincere. I think he does see them as like brother cops, and
yeah, totally.
Especially when they tell him that they've been docked in their pay, because to him that's probably, I mean, whether they live in Beverly Hills or not, a day's pay is a day's pay. So he's probably like, man, that would really, if I lost a day's pay, that'd be really fucked up. Let me try to like make it up to you guys. But yeah, he's trying to get him on. You're right, Luke. He's trying to get him on his team because he's going to need them to make the arrest.
He's trying to get them on his level,
even though he's a bit of a maverick cop, a bit of a rogue, he's still very honest as well. He's not corrupt. He's not he doesn't.
Be careful with your screenshots here, Luke. You don't want to get demonetized.
Yeah, be careful, buddy.
It's a sad bulb with nothing showing. We should be all right. Hopefully.
All right.
Probably not, but hopefully. Yeah. I found the perfect place. Trust me, it's a fucking strip club.
Like I said, if you're going to apologise to somebody for, fucking them over, take them to a strip bar. Good news.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is how most guys should apologise to each other. Take them to a fucking strip club and have a few beers. But once again, they're still in cop mode, aren't they? They are in civilian mode, and Rosewood's still a bit naive as well, and they're probably a bit new to us. And you can tell he wants to enjoy himself, but he doesn't want to look like he's been.
He's very wide-eyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to look like he's being disrespectful. Yeah. He doesn't want to look like he's being
well be his first strip club, exactly. And again, the dynamic between this and the second film, with the change in their character, again, is something I really liked. Good bit of character growth.
Yeah. Don't get depressed if your dick gets hard. Your dick's supposed to get hard. Protecting's the boss. Boss dick has to be limp. But once again, it's also a good place for him to sit down and relax a little bit, and he can tell him about what he found as well, and hopefully it might lead to something. But Taggart has no idea what the big deal is about the coffee grounds yet. So
yeah,
he's obviously not worked these kind of drug jobs or anything like those kind of crimes. It's but then comes another scene. It's another good scene as well, where we get to see Taggart and Rosewood see that he is a good cop still, despite his bullshit. So we see all these guys coming as well, and it's looking like they're about to stick up the strip club.
Mm.
I think also Axel's kind of taken the measure of the two of these. I think he's clocked Richie, not Richie. God, what's his name? Judge Reinhold. Billy. He's clocked Billy as obviously the greenhorn and stuff like that. But I think he sees something with Taggart that Taggart is, he's trying to see, what is this guy all about? Is this guy just a punch the clock guy, or is he actually got some cop eyes, some street smarts? And I really like this, that the what you've keyed on right here. I always remember this, where he's just like, a little hot for that coat, isn't it? And Taggart picks up on it. It's like, yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. And he's still a little skeptical about Axel as well. He's thinking, is he putting him on again? And Axel just gives him that look and says, no, something's going down. There's no bullshit this time.
Yeah. This is that first, remember what I told you about? This is like that first time where he switches, that thing switches in his mind, and he just really portrays it. And he's just like, hey, no bullshit. I'm not fucking around. Like all my street bullshit, black guy, hipster bullshit, that's out the window. Some shit's about to go down, and I need to know that you got my back. So
yeah, and obviously he calls Taggart to do to get in position as well instead of Rosewood, because Taggart looks a bit more like he has had a bit more experience as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's the more seasoned of the two, isn't he? Obviously,
Rosewood's green as grass, really, isn't he?
Yeah, and obviously, if he asked Rosewood to go up there could be a chance Rosewood could get killed, and I don't think Axel would have wanted that on his conscience, especially at this time as well.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, but that Billy would probably do it because he wants to be a cop.
So that's the thing, though. He'd get over eager, he'd rush in, and he'd almost certainly get himself killed. So, as you correctly say, Axel is quite aware of this. One thing that Axel is very, very, very good at is reading people. He's really, really good at reading people.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once again, he plays the drunken fool as well to get this guy to really fuck up his plans as well. He's probably got his best laid plan in place, but now this arsehole's coming up saying, "Hey Phil, it's you. I recognise you, man." Yeah, and obviously it's got
Phil, man. It's Philip, everybody.
It's Philip. I told you, it's Philip. You liar.
It's clever because again,
that's his drunken dad's voice in his stand-up.
Yeah. He's drawing attention to the guy, which is the last thing he wants, and therefore putting him on his off guard almost.
Well, he's also drawn the guy's attention to him, as opposed to like if this guy had the attention to like light somebody up so everyone knew what time it was with the robbery. He's got the gun on him now as a police officer, as opposed to one of the civilians taking some buckshot. Because you know what happens when a shotgun is pointed at a problem, don't you, Luke?
You get a good spread. Yeah, so that's actually a good fucking point. Yeah, so it gets attention on him, so no innocent civilians get fucking shot. So yeah, that's actually very smart. And obviously, he takes the guy down, and then Taggart just fucking jumps right in, puts the gun to the guy's head, and says, "Police, move and I'll kill you." And I think I buy he would. I totally buy he would kill that fucking guy.
That guy.
The way he says it as well.
Taggart would have splattered his shit all over the wall.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
That's the other thing, is you get the feeling that Taggart has definitely killed people, whereas Rosewood probably hasn't.
Yeah. And Rosewood Rosewood being the fucking star, he's like, don't move, turn over. It's like, but it makes you love him even more. You just love what a naive, over-eager, over-optimistic.
Well, he's like a kid brother, isn't he?
Well, he's not a dumbass. He's just very naive and a little over-optimistic. And there goes your poster shot.
Yeah,
iconic.
And this is a real good moment as well, because they're going to get in trouble as well, because they're supposed to be tailing him. They're supposed to be in the car. The fact that they've now got attention, they've drawn attention out in the strip club. And Axel just jumps right in and tries to defend him as well. He's saying, "No, they were still in the car. I went in, but then they saw these two suspicious guys go in. They followed him in, and because I was just having a good time watching titties and getting drunk, and
This is the Super Cop speech, isn't it?
Super Cop.
Yeah. And they were laughing. John Ashton's laughing his ass off as well while they were saying
this is where he gains their
squeezing his face, isn't he? Squeezing his face because he's pissing himself laughing.
Yes.
Judge Ryan, there he is. There he's like fucking creased. Judge Reinhold was actually pinching his thigh, like digging his fingers into his thigh to stop himself from laughing.
That makes the scene so much better that I know that now.
But Eddie Murphy was off his tits on coffee because he was feeling tired from the shoot. They offered him a cup of coffee. He said that he told them that he doesn't take drugs of any kind, including coffee, but they convinced him to have a few sips, and he just went sort of wild and ad-libbed this Super Cops story and had everybody in stitches. Well done, that man.
It's a good scene as well, and totally improvised as well, and
it
kind of shows what good-natured guy John Ashton probably is in real life, because he's playing this really serious old grouch, isn't he? Who hasn't really got much of a sense of humor, and
stick up his ass. That's Foley's job, is to remove the sticks and try and get them to his level, at least, or get them on his side. I think that nightclub scene kind of was a good sort of segue into them coming together as a team, I think.
Yeah, and also this moment, the whole thing where he tries to take the hit for them, try and take that's where he gains their respect. That's where they're sort of like, okay, this guy will actually kind of lie down on the wire for us, so we need to, cut him some slack. And they've seen what he can do when he wants to cop. So.
And unfortunately, they don't go along with the likes. They're still sort of like by the book, it's been ingrained into their training to be compliant no matter what. And they obviously they do give Axel the credit that he does deserve, even though Axel doesn't want it. He wants to see these guys not get in trouble. He wants them to hopefully get a promotion for their hard work as well. They totally fuck it up, and he does obviously feels a letdown, but he doesn't feel any hatred towards him or disappointment as well. He just feels a bit sad as well.
Luke, since you let Inside Man do a gross potato story, can I give you a real quick anecdote that has to do with this scene?
All right,
As long as it's got nothing to do with potatoes going up arses.
Nothing. So my second year in Iraq, the Kansas City Chiefs cheerleaders came with the USO to kind of visit, and they showed up at the base, and we were in the chow hall, and this one kid that was in the cavalry, he seen me, and he was like, "Man, that's the Kansas City Chiefs cheerleaders." So I was like, "Yeah, it sure is. Go talk to him." He's like, "No, I can't talk to them. Look how beautiful they are." I'm like, "Come." And so I grab him, and we walk up, and I was like, "Hey, did you know that I am from Kansas City and so is my friend here?" And they're like, "Oh my God, that's so great." And they start kind of surrounding him. And I was like, "Hey, I just want you guys to know, seriously, this guy, Private Miller, the other day, I was in a firefight, pinned down. This guy drives in his Humvee, pulls me to safety. I didn't know what was happening. This guy completely saves my ass. This is a real hero. Me, I'm just a security guy. I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. This guy is the true blue soldier hero." And these chicks like surround him, hug him, like, "Oh my God, that's so." And this kid goes, "Mr. Kelly's just kidding. None of that actually happened." I'm like, dude, are you serious right now? Are you fucking serious?
He blocked himself.
You just ruined the super cop. I gave you the super cop and you fucked it up. Like, how could you fuck it up? But, whatever. I'm a great wingman. So if you guys ever let me, I'll be the best wingman for you. If you let, just go with my bullshit and it'll be great.
Definitely be my wingman.
It's never dull on these fucking streams. It never is. It never is.
Did this guy have this banana glasses thing with him, or did he specifically go out to buy this?
We're going back a few scenes anyway, but yeah, and it's just after the banana in the tailpipe. But once again, it almost shows that even though these are very straight-laced cops, they do still have some kind of a sense of humor. And but yeah, and these are like the coppers who probably are doing better than Taggart and Rosewood, and are incredibly smug and fucking punchable about it, everything. Because these actors, they play it so well. You do want to punch these two. They're so fucking up
right in the face. I want to punch them right in the face.
Yeah, now we're back on schedule anyway, because now he's doing the same, and this time he's not sending them a nice meal. He's sending them coffee and fucking donuts.
Yeah.
And so he knows that trick is not going to work as well. So he's got to find a way to lose these bastards as well. And these coppers are really arrogant. They're up themselves. He knows he's going to be able to deal with them a lot more easier.
Yeah, he's got these guys wrapped around his little finger, isn't he?
Yeah, we're not going to fall for a banana in the tailpipe. You ain't going to fall for a banana in the tailpipe. You got to do it easy like this. Hey man, I ain't going to fall for no banana in the tailpipe.
Hey man, I ain't gonna fall for no banana in my tailpipe, man.
Yeah, you've been hanging out with this dude too long.
Yeah, that's kind of racist, but that's fine.
Yeah. They do crack me up, these two as well. Just how fucking serious they are.
Yeah, they look like tax attorneys. They don't even look like cops.
I don't know any cops that look like these two guys.
Yeah,
I mean they're obviously suspecting that he's waiting out, that he's shadowing fucking Maitland as well, but he's like, "No, it's a picnic area. I'm just gonna have lunch, have some beers." Then Maitland just fucking shows up and is like, "Oh, never mind for that bullshit. Let's just go." And I love the way he loses them as well. It's like he just stops the car in the middle of the road, and so as it goes where he just fucking spins out. Probably dangerous. You'll probably get people fucking killed, but still.
Yeah.
Yeah, and God, that laugh is so great. And he pulls up outside this fucking gentleman's club where Maitland is about to hang out, spend his time with, and he tells his fucking valet, "Park this car somewhere careful, because last time I parked here, all this shit happened."
All the shit happened.
I don't even think that was in the script either. I don't think it was. I think that was ad-libbed. And obviously it's members only. He's not going to be able to go in there. So
isn't it the one with the STD, isn't it?
So he does. Yeah. How does he get in? By telling a very embarrassing story about Victor Maitland. And
Victor Maitland, Capricorn.
Very important.
Yeah, tell him that the gentleman who he spent the night with has just been to the clinic and he's suffering from herpes simplex 10. So could you relay that message? It's like, Obviously, the guy's not going to relay that message to him. He's going to think, yeah, you go tell him it's a private thing. This is a really private thing. No one else should know about this. Even
literally shoot the messenger.
I think that would be best.
Yeah, and it is a very convincing thing to sort of like get into a restricted area that you're not supposed to be in, and it's very clever. And I don't think Sylvester Stallone would have pulled that off, or Harrison Ford, or Mickey Rourke. But yeah, this is where he's telling him, "Yeah, I'm back. I'm not going away. I'm gonna fucking take you down, no matter what." And I think Victor Maitland is starting to realise that Axel Foley is no fucking fool, and he does mean fucking business. And he's obviously not trying to seem unfazed as well, because now he's got the cops as well. But yeah, Axel's going to be a big fucking problem for him. Do I know you guys? You look familiar. But he does come clean with them. He really does come clean here now. He tells them all about why he's bothering Victor Maitland, and this is where he talks about the coffee grounds as well. And I think even Bogomil's starting to think, all right, Axel may actually be a good cop of it. It's he seems to know a lot, and because even he knows that coffee grounds can be used to store drugs, all that stuff.
Well, it shows you the juxtaposition between the two kind of agencies, because it's like at this point you got to have this seasoned lieutenant who actually knows something, like maybe he worked in drug enforcement, stuff like that. He's got to know this, whereas in Detroit, a street level guy like Axel actually knows these tricks and these things. So he's kind of, they're operating on different levels.
Yeah, and it also goes to show that Bogomil's not just a hard-ass fucking lieutenant as well. He actually is very understandable, and he is still a good cop. He does listen. He is a very reasonable man. He's because he's just trying to do his job like everyone else, isn't he? He's trying to be a good cop. He's trying to be an honest cop. He's trying to do it the right way. He's doing the right way he thinks is best.
Yeah.
But the trouble is, though, it's he can't help him because coffee grounds aren't enough. If he found some drugs, they might have had something to go on.
Yeah. And he's still kind of stuck. He's a lieutenant. He's older. He's thinking about his pension. This out-of-towner cop, as smart as he may be, he's not willing to risk his career over this. It's just like, and again, this is another great scene of showing actual consequences. You can't just go, rogue and go into another city and just go do whatever the hell you like, and then the other cops are just going to be cool with it. They're just going to be like, no, it wasn't their friend that got killed. So it's just like, yeah, no, it's like, he tells him, he's like, escort him out of the city, fuck off. Sorry.
It keeps the story grounded in reality as well. It doesn't go way over the top. Imagine if Stallone got his way and had his script in place and it was just all guns blazing without any sort of fear of any consequence. Would have been a whole different story. Well, it was a whole different story.
We have them acting like normal thinking professional men who know how to do their jobs.
They're both like great cops. They're just the Bogomil operates in a very different manner, very by the book.
Yeah, it's like seeing both sides of the same coin as well, and you get context into why they are operating the way they are. Like, we do need cops to be honest and be true to the law, but at the same time,
you've got to have the evidence in place. You can't just
Maitland is kind of exploiting these kind of rules that the cops are going to, because they get a search warrant, they are going to shut up shop, and it'll be a huge waste of time.
Yeah, they'll just be out of there.
I know, and it dawns on Axel that he's going to have to get the drugs out of there somewhere and use, and it'll be like his way of getting them to have some kind of evidence if in case things got tits up. You never got this.
It's good as well as part of like Axel's character arc, because he comes from a place where he breaks all the rules. He does things kind of his own way. He sometimes gets the job done, or sometimes he'll get reprimanded, but he's come to this completely different place. He's a fish out of water, and he has to learn to do things by the book, so he has to kind of reinvent himself and go along with what these cops are saying, use his initiative and try and get the job done like lawfully, if you like. So it kind of changes his character. He's the same person, but he's a different person at the end of this film. He's done something way out of the ordinary as far as he's concerned, even though it's the strictly by the book kind of way that things are done.
I know. It's a shame that he can't get any proper help from everyone else, because if he does do it a bit more their way, it's just gonna. Victor Maitland's going to get away with it, and they can't allow her to do that.
But it's
this guy's very funny. This guy's very funny. He's like a stick in the mud as well. He's like he seems like one of the kind of police officials that has been in the office way too long, has probably not ever taken a street thug down in years, and he's probably got a bit full of himself.
But it seems to me that he's still acting in exactly the same way in Beverly Hills as he is in Detroit, and he still has the same restrictions because he's still lumbered with a boss that wants him to go by the book. And he's still not able to break any of those rules or bend any of those rules the same way he can't in Detroit. It literally is exactly the same kind of scenario, but in a different city. But what it does is it just sort of illustrates, really, I suppose, that he is somebody who, by fair means or foul, he needs to get to the end goal, and that's it.
Yeah, as I said, the method doesn't matter, the result does.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once again, he never goes too far either. He never becomes too ruthless or mean or crooked. He's still a very good guy, and he's still trying to be honest about it, even if it is bending the rules a bit. But that's the thing with Axel. He takes risks, and sometimes you got to take risks. Playing it safe is never always the thing. Playing it safe just limits you way too much. But this guy is such a fucking stick in the mud. And the way Axel just fucking watch the way he speaks as well. Is this the man who disabled a police unit with a banana?
Is this the man that wrecked the buffet at the country club?
Yeah, and obviously I think Bogomil doesn't like that guy either, because we see later he really lies his ass off in front of him at the end.
Yeah.
But even Rosewood's like, why can't we? He seems to have enough to go on here. Why can't we just do it? And obviously Bogomil tells him to back down.
Yeah.
And he complies, and it looks like Axel has to be escorted back to Detroit now because he's been causing too much trouble. He's interfering and he's obstructing an investigation. But I think we're going a bit. Oh yeah. What about this thing? Yeah, Victor Maitland obviously is checking with Jenny as well, see what he can find out about her. And Jenny knows something's up with the way Victor Maitland is asking her these questions. And I think that's when she starts to suspect that Victor is responsible for Mikey getting killed. She was very skeptical earlier, wasn't she? She's like, well, he was this big art dealer. He's very respected. How could he kill Mike? But now she sees it.
Yeah. God, she's cute. God,
she was
really
adorable.
Cute.
She was a gorgeous woman. She really was.
She looked terrified in that scene as well.
She did as well.
She looked really
bad.
But kind of hid it really well, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Good acting.
Yeah, Billy's still kind of stuck to his code, stuck to his his way of operating, but. Yeah, he comes around. He's like, all I had to do is drive you to the airport. Now I'm going to screw that up. And once again, we've seen Billy really evolve here now as well. He's not just this guy just playing by the rules because he thinks that's how you do it. He's starting to realize, Axel Foley's a man who takes risks, and sometimes you have to take risks. Yeah. He's starting to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is where he goes to see Jenny to tell her what's happening, and said Rosewood's interaction with Sed is really fucking funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you want to express it over lemon twist? And it's like, Rosewood's like, Yeah, sure. It's not bother. It's not
Of
bother.
course.
He's so
Of
naive.
course. Don't be stupid. Of course.
That was a cracking line. Don't be
Yeah.
stupid.
But this is where she tells him that Victor Maitland came in acting real weird, and obviously she wants to join in on finding out if he is guilty or not, if he actually was responsible for Mike's death. And even though he's telling her to fucking stay in the car because of how dangerous it is, no, she's not going to do it. Right? Mike's their friend. She doesn't want to stand by and let Axel get himself killed.
Yeah. They had to put her in the back seat because her hair was taking up so much room, so she couldn't drive in the front.
Yeah, that big 80s hair. Yeah, she's fucking killing it though. Even with the shoulder pads, yeah, it suits her.
Yeah.
And this is where we found out all about all the fucking cocaine hidden underneath the coffee grounds.
Mm.
But no.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoopsie.
Got caught. And Rosewood's in the fucking car. He sees them all coming out. It's like, damn. Oh shit. And he's terrified as well. He's never been in like a gun battle or confronted criminals like this. So he's fucking he's shitting it.
Here we get serious Axel again. He teases for a second with his bullshit, trying to play it off like this is no big deal, but then you get to see serious Axel pops out a little bit.
Well, yeah, it's hiding his fear, isn't he? He doesn't want. Last thing he wants to do is cry and beg for his life. So, yeah, you got to be a tough bastard in this situation, even though it's looking like he probably is going to get killed.
I don't think that's in his persona anyway. He'd be more pissed off at the failure. He wouldn't be worried about dying. But
I think his only real concern is Jenny, and then I think he gets pissed when they bring up Michael. They bring up Mikey and hey, we had to pop your little friend, and you see like I wish we were actually watching the movie, but the when he says that, he's like, when I should have popped you when I popped your little friend, the look that Axel gives him, like, dude, oh man, it's so good.
Yeah, same with Stephen Berkoff. There's a fucking coldness in his eyes where he's like, if anything happens to her, I'll kill you. He's like, really? That would be a neat little trick.
But he does do that. But I mean, to be fair, he does do the villain thing. He's just gonna leave. He's just gonna leave, and I'm just gonna leave and assume everything came to plan.
Well, he is kind of almost like every Brit villain playing in an American action film, but he's still very memorable. Though, just the way he composes himself as well. And he doesn't really have a lot of screen time, really, when you think about it.
Yeah, but actors like him don't really need a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
They make the most of what they're given.
Yeah, he's very composed as well. He's like very well.
That's how you know he's evil.
Well, in his nice little three-piece suit as well. But Jonathan Banks is he really does show a real fucking authentic ruthlessness here as well when he punches him and then he gives him this slap across the head as well, like he's the abusive dad and he's the disobedient child. It's like it kind of dehumanizes him, Axel. It's like it's a way for him to dehumanize Axel even more. And yet, God bless Rosewood as well. He actually does. He does grow the balls to fucking go out and try and save him. And yeah, it's his first time he's seen fucking shoot a guy, but I don't think he kills him, does he?
Shoots him in the shoulder, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That's one of the things that becomes an absolute sort of trope in the third film. Is every single time the bad guys shoot, they miss, and if they do manage to hit the good guy, eventually it's always in the arm or the shoulder.
Yeah. Or in the side as well. Sometimes the side.
Just so you know, guys, if you get shot in the shoulder, you're gonna die. Like you're not gonna live through that. Like you're gonna bleed out really fucking fast.
I always figured at the very least you're not going to be acting like nothing happened and just fucking getting back into it.
You're in serious trouble if you get shot in the shoulder.
That's why I had my shoulders surgically removed. Just
smart.
Yeah,
forward thinking there.
That's it. You never know when you're going to be in a gun battle.
That's it. Bad guys only shoot you in the shoulder. So hey, win-win.
I've always found what works best with stuff like that is just to shoot the other person first.
Yeah.
That usually works a lot better.
Yeah, in the face preferably.
In both shoulders. You're definitely gonna die.
Yeah, and obviously,
The one that
Rosebud
always
is,
got me in
rescued
movies
that
was
dog,
when,
yeah.
just real quick, the one that always got me in movies is when people get stabbed and instantly die. So they get stabbed in, I don't know, the gut or something, and then there's no bleeding out, there's no
Fall
dying
to the
slowly.
floor.
They just fall to the floor, they're dead. And it's like, what?
Yeah, no, you ever seen that film Chopper where Eric Banner gets set, where Chopper gets stabbed by his friend, and
Yes.
Oh, that's
and it's-
brilliant. That's
Good
so
movie.
good.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
So good. But that's
yeah,
what I
and the thing is,
imagined
he
it would
didn't know he
be.
was getting. So I read. Oh, the dog's whining. Give me a minute. Hey, come on. All right, come on. Come on.
Well, all right,
Yeah.
folks. If you're
Yeah.
just now joining us, we're at the police station, and Sergeant Taggart is discussing with the other patrolmen. Please just excuse us for a moment while our host is dealing with his
No, I'm
dog.
back. I'm back. I'm back anyway. Yeah, so Rosewood has rescued Axel Foley, and now Taggart's trying to wonder what's going on. So obviously, Taggart's going to try and find out what's happening, and he's going to go help Rosewood because he's his fucking partner, and of course he's going to do that.
See, this is why I keep spiders and
The dog's
snakes.
being really clingy at the moment. I do not know what's wrong with her. I'll probably play with her later after I've finished with this, get some energy out of her.
Get in your bed, bad
Yeah.
lass.
Is she smelling the peanut butter on the roof of your mouth? Is that what's going on?
She's smelling the peanut butter on his balls.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, my friend Ben's on here. Hey, how Ben? How you doing, man? Hey, have I missed you earlier? I was sorting through the slides, so I didn't see your name, but no. Yeah, nice to see you, man. Nice to see you. Yeah, that's my friend Ben. He's lead singer of a band called Collision Point. Critic Al, if you like your heavy metal, I'd check them out.
I am just typing it in now.
All right, Ben.
Collision Point. I shall give them a listen a bit later.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Hey,
Hi,
Ben.
Ben.
Luke is more my friend than your friend, just so you know.
Hang on a minute.
Ben. Right.
Toxic, you slag.
Die, replacement friend.
Fucking hell. That escalated quickly.
And I like the fact Taggart is really hesitant here as well. He's like, this is really serious trouble. And he's like, no, not Axel's right. I mean, he's got his friend in there. The kidnapped. She's in danger. We need to go rescue her. So yeah, he takes him up and he decides to help him. He gets a nice little fucking shotgun there. And I think this is where Victor Maitland starts to see Axel as well. He's like, Furley is on the ground.
That's pretty close to how he sounds.
Yeah, I
too.
know. It's just gone in my head, that quote as well. It's the way he says it.
Fowley's on the grounds.
Now Bogomil's wondering what the fuck is happening as well, and he finds out. He finds out later that shit's going to happen in Maitland's house.
What the fuck
And
is
yeah, this is
going
real
on?
fun. This is just funny as well. Where they try to climb this fucking wall and they just keep fucking falling over. It's a nice little bit of humour as well because it's a very intense situation, but it sort of like takes the tension away a tiny bit without compromising it.
And it doesn't go stupidly sort of balls out slapstick.
No.
I think it plays nicely into
It's
the
grounded.
scene. Yeah.
Yeah, and boom, and this is where fucking machine guns start coming out. It's like everyone's running for cover. This is where we start to. It's funny, but at the same time, you still feel the danger that they're in as well because they're constantly looking for cover as well and
It's a
trying
pretty
to
good
avoid.
shootout, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's a good job nobody can aim.
Like I said, the bad guys always miss, and if they eventually get you, it's in the shoulder. So
I just gotta
genuinely-
wonder how much money are these guys getting paid to open fire with illegal automatic weapons on police officers at the I'm sure they're getting paid well, but Jesus, man, I'm not
And
that is
spraying bullets all over the place as well.
Yeah,
It's aiming.
like, dude, are you serious? One thing I forgot to point out. So you see, like, this is the 80s. So a detective is usually going to carry a 38, a
Oh, yeah.
revolver of some kind, because it's the 80s. And I think it's interesting that Axel has what back then was considered a pretty high tech sidearm. He's carrying a Browning 9mm high power. So, and although it's an older gun, he's still carrying it in the latest movie. So then it's kind of old and antiquated. But back in the 80s, that was kind of cutting edge for him to be running around with that thing.
Yeah, I wonder if that was already his gun as well, and not an issued one, because I don't know, probably got
No,
hold of it when he was
back
kid.
then they issued you revolvers. So if you had something else, you had to get it approved and purchase it yourself.
Yeah,
explains
and
why
obviously,
it's
because
that big shit
he's going undercover, he's got to have like a gun that a street kids could have. Something, I'm guessing.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah, and this is where Rosewood has killed his first guy, and he kind of has this look on his face as well.
Yeah.
He's like, fucking hell.
He's always had these idealized visions of what it's like without having the reality hit him, and now he's got the reality hit him of what it's like.
Yeah.
I love it when he tries to arrest everybody. That's so funny.
Yeah.
And they
I
just
like the
stop
fact that
behind
he never breaks down as well. He still carries on, he still carries on with the job because he knows he can't afford to break down, and because he could get everyone else killed if he did. So he's smart enough to keep his head and adapt and stay focused. Once again, bad fucking aim, guys. Aim your fucking gun. Stop spraying the bullets. Short bursts. Short controlled bursts.
They're like fucking stormtroopers.
Yeah. Yeah. Short bursts. Short
All those
short
curved
control,
barrels.
Like fucking Axel is doing right now. He aims
Yeah.
his fucking gun.
Yeah, two-hand hold. Nice.
Yeah, guys go around the front. You go around the back. And this is where Borgwell starts sending the police units, and fucking Taggart and Rosewood are now cornered, and
And that's the
in
team they recreated in the new one, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it's just not as funny.
No, this doesn't work as well.
They just recycled a fucking old joke. Maybe
It fell really flat to me.
it
felt
did.
really
It really
flat.
did. Yeah, fucking
Nothing
Rosewood
in the new film
Taggart
worked as well as this
yeah.
one.
Yeah,
I won't even
Rosewood
get
was
started
barely
on
in that
what
movie. He should have been in it more. He really should have, because it felt too little, too late when he finally got rescued.
Well, they wanted to give oh yeah, no, totally, but they wanted to give a lot of time to the what's her name, the
Joseph
daughter
Gordon-Levitt and the
character. What's her
daughter.
name? No, the daughter. What's her name? Jane or something?
Jane, yeah.
Yeah, she could have been left out of the film entirely.
Really?
Let's face it.
Kind of liked her.
Let's face it. It's one of the sequels that nobody actually asked for.
Yeah, but none. That said,
Well,
I'm
you're
still.
not the
I'm
fifth
still
one in the
okay
left.
with it. When you compare that to the assassinations we've had on Luke Skywalker, Indiana Jones, and the James Bond, I thought you got away tonight.
One of a clutch of sequels that nobody asked for.
Well,
It's true, but it could have been a great movie. They had 30 years to work on the script, so there's no excuse really.
Yeah,
I think if you're doing a sequel that's 30, 40 years after the original, then you're really clutching at straws. I don't think any movie sequel that's 30 or 40 years after the original is really going to work. It's like it's essentially it's like watching your favorite childhood band 40 years later, and they come out on stage on crutches and in wheelchairs, and you think, what the fuck is going on here? And they don't sound anything like they used to.
Some are actually doing that, aren't they?
Well, it had more or less been
well, the Rolling Stones
Stones
have made a career of it. Stones have made a career of it, haven't they?
It had more or less been in continuous development since the third film. It's been through so many revisions and stuff. They've been trying to get off the ground.
Yeah, they tried to turn it into a TV show about his son as well, but that got cancelled.
Yeah, that
Axel was going to be the captain, wasn't he? He was going to be the chief of police.
Yeah, that was terrible. But Maverick Top Gun 2 was good.
Yep.
Yeah, that's
really
the
good
exception.
example.
That's the real exception, isn't it?
Yeah, because it did evolve his character. He's still a guy who's trying to push the limits, but at the same time, he starts to realise that pushing the limits is a life or death situation now, and they need to start really fucking throwing out all the rules that they've learned and start to really start start taking more risks with their approach.
Yeah,
That was it, and that's what made that sequel so good. It really upped the stakes here.
And it's
That and the
also
father-son relationship between him and Goose's boy.
also I think, you know, part of that also is, in fact, probably the main part of it is that you actually have movie executives that actually cared about the original and that know their business. But when you have movie executives that greenlight something that it's just a cash cow, you know, let's face it, most sequels are cash cows, but with diminishing returns. But nonetheless, they still make money. So that's the only reason why they do them. There's no real kind of obligation to an audience, and no audience really wants them. It's like Gladiator 2. Nobody wanted to see
Oh
Gladiator 2.
God.
No one wanted to see
Yeah.
Gladiator 2.
I know.
I'm
I didn't
going to see it.
I mean, the first one was perfect the way it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. I just
Give me a standalone movie and I'll go and see it. As long as I know that there is never going to be a sequel, you know, 10, 20, 30 years later. I really don't want to see that. I want to see standalone movies. Those are the movies that I really enjoy going to see, not
without-
movies that spawn sequels.
without going on a fun tangent though, look at like Horizon, and that was original, but it's getting yanked from theaters.
There's also 3 hours long
Yeah.
though. That's a long
Yeah.
commitment for somebody
Yeah.
to sit down.
And
And
it doesn't really have a
watch something.
narrative either. It's like it's
Yeah.
just build up and no. If you're having a certain part of if you're doing in different parts, they still have to have some kind of structure, don't they? I mean, even Lord of the Rings had that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Given the popularity of Yellowstone, I'm surprised he didn't do it as a TV series. That's what it
Yeah,
sounds
that would
like.
have been better. That would have been better, in my opinion. That would have been a lot better because I think that's why Yellowstone works, because it was a TV series and not a movie.
But it's
But it
much.
gives you
It's
time
much.
to do what
It's
you're
much
talking
more.
about.
It's actually much more difficult to self-finance your own TV series and then try to sell it. I think this was a case of him, you know, basically making the movie and then trying to find a distributor for it. It wasn't a case of the bulk of the finances came from other sources. I think it was the bulk of the finances came from him.
Yeah, but again, given the success of Yellowstone, I'm sure you would have had some, you know, sort of collateral and clout to get it done. You know, I think going the movie road just really, it means that when it does fail, it fails spectacularly. It's in everybody's eyes. And now I don't know if he'll ever get to make 3 and 4, which is a shame because as a TV series, I reckon this could have been really good.
Well, they're already pretty much made, aren't they? The second one's out.
The second one's
So-
made, but I don't think he started 3 or 4 yet. Because I think he was talking about making 4 of them, wasn't he?
I just hope the moderate success of this Netflix release doesn't make everybody to go, you know what? Let's do another Beverly Hills Cop 6, and let's have.
I think that I've been hearing that the number 5 might be in the works now, but who knows? It could be a fucking clickbait video. Who knows? It's I've not
man,
watched
I hope
it.
they leave it alone.
I reckon they'll go for 5, and I hope they don't. Personally, while 4 wasn't a complete disaster, I don't need any more.
You know, if we look at the 80s properties that have, in essence, been completely turned over. You know, I mean, we've got the Ghostbusters for a start. You know,
That was a massive pile of wank.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That last one was horrible. That frozen arsehole was just a barrel of shit.
It was so bad, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I watched Afterlife was okay the first time I watched it, but I have not watched it since, and I don't know if I might end up enjoying it as much as I did the first time. I think I might start to see the nostalgia bit a little bit the way I did with Beverly Hills Cop. Actually, no, I do realise the nostalgia bit now. They recycle the same fucking villain from the first movie.
See, if I get nostalgic about a movie, I go back and watch that movie. I don't sit there, you know, holding in my shit, waiting for the next sequel to come. You know what I mean? I'm not clenching. I'm not clenching and you know, turtle heading.
Yeah, this is why we need more people like you, Sad Man, in movies. A bit more fucking bluntness and honesty. Not
Besides Top Gun Maverick, has there even been any 80s things that have revived or anything that has been even moderately successful? Or
that Star Wars thing that used to be good. They made
Never
some
heard of
more.
it. Never
They
heard
made
of it.
some more of that, I
It'd be a
think.
terrible idea if they made any more of that.
Yeah.
Don't know if it took off.
No, I think Maverick is probably the only good one.
It's
Yeah.
Maverick's
was,
the
yeah.
outlier, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. It's the
I think
anomaly that we
I
got.
think it's because Tom Cruise had a bit of say in it as well, because it's obviously something he was really passionate about as
Oh,
well. And he wanted to
100%.
get right.
I mean, there was probably committees of all sorts of like feminazis and stuff going, we've got to make Tom Cruise look misogynistic and bloody and always be wrong. And he just turned around and went, no, fuck right off, it's my movie.
Yeah, good on
You know?
fucking Tom Cruise. He's into
Good
a lot of
lad,
weird
Tom.
Scientology shit, but when it comes to fucking movies, he knows what he's fucking doing.
But he just wants to entertain the crowd. It's as simple as
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
And all right,
yeah.
Mission Impossible 8 wasn't great film by any means.
I know, but at least you can tell he really
came
wanted
out-
it to
Yeah,
work.
he had the intent of doing it. You know, he wanted to do it. He makes films because he wants to make films and he wants to entertain the audience. He doesn't make films because he wants to put a message across. Not one of his films has ever had like a Scientology message in it. Do you know what I mean?
Ever.
Ever.
Not
You know,
one.
he's
Not
never
one.
done any of that. And that's why he's one of the movie stars that I respect, because he keeps it about the art.
I know, because he had a bit of a fucking bad time in there after that fucking couch jump on Oprah Winfrey. But
I'm not gay. I need you guys to know that
Yeah.
I'm not gay.
Yeah, I'm not gay.
I love Katie Holmes. I'm not gay. Go see my
I'm
new
not
movie.
gay, but I do carry potatoes in my asshole.
Just in case I want to
he,
check.
he does do all his stunts, doesn't he? So you know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Still. Fucking hell, he's a madman. That
Yeah, he's like
did
that
he-
Christmas
did he
video
do
he did
the-
where he was jumping, where he was fucking free falling in the out, right out of a fucking plane was mad. I was nothing but respect for the guy.
Yeah, no. From a artistic and movie perspective, I do have nothing but respect for the guy, and I also have respect for the fact that he's not outspoken on all these things. He just does the fucking movies. He's not trying to be an activist. He's not out there trying to, sort of bleeding heart and that kind of stuff.
You're absolutely right. There's not a single bandwagon that he jumps upon in order to make himself look relevant, fashionable, or trendy. And he's first and foremost, and he definitely focuses on this. He's an entertainer. He's interested in movies as an art form and as a form of entertainment.
Yeah, I've got nothing but respect for that particular aspect of his makeup, to be honest.
At the risk of violating your NDA, Inside Man, is the potato story really about Tom Cruise? Just hear your mic twice. You don't have to say hear your mic twice if it's yes.
I'm actually going to say verbally an emphatic no. But I will just say that there was a very similar incident involving. These guys will know what I'm talking about. An action man, but let's just refer to it as a GI Joe. Exactly the same type of incident, but involving an entire GI Joe or action man if you're in the UK.
Love it.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Well, we'll get back. We'll get back. fucking story, but yeah, we've got to get back on track now.
Anyway, Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah. Now Jonathan Banks is out to fucking get him, and it's not a full on explosive shootout as well. It's mostly him just trying to get the fuck out and not get hit, which does make it feel a bit more realistic as well. Like he's not firing back; he's just jumping for as much cover as he can and hoping he can get the chance to fire back on him if he can.
Yeah, I mean Jenny's still in there, isn't she? So
yeah. What is the end game? What is the end game for the bad guys here? Like what? Like the cops are swarming the mansion.
Yeah, they've just lost control, haven't they? They've just lost control now. It's like,
what do you think you're gonna do?
Like Toxic says, I'd be like, you're not getting paid enough for this. I'll just fucking walk.
It's like Waco, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible. Too soon.
Yeah, and this scene only is a lot better ever since I saw Butch Cassidy, which I sadly
agree. Yes,
I know.
Agree.
Because I had never seen that film before I saw this, and I was wondering, okay, well, I'm very curious about the ending of Butch Cassidy now. Is like, what do they go out and kill all the bad guys at the end? And I watched the ending, and I'm like,
Nah.
Oh shit! No. This scene's even crazier now. Ever since I've seen that movie.
Billy. It puts Billy in a completely different light when you actually know what happens at the end of Butch Cassidy and this. That's another remake. Why are they doing a remake of that? That's
no.
Really?
Yeah,
and it's worse because they're trying to capitalize on Dune. They're doing Timothy Chalamet and Zendaya as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. That's
no.
Yeah, I'm kidding. That's not true.
I was believing you up until then.
Don't give them ideas. Don't give them fucking ideas.
I nearly swallowed my tongue. on purpose.
Well, yeah, it's not like you can shrug your shoulders.
I found a few highlights. I really are going to have to. But yeah, some people assume that Billy Rose would assume that Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kids made it out alive at the end. But I think he's just he knows.
Yeah, he wants
he's
to
just
go
killed
out
the guy. And he's starting to become a little bit. He's starting to get into this a little bit now. He's actually willing to fucking go down fighting, and Taggart's like, oh fuck.
That line defines Billy as a fucking maniac once he comes out with that. Like,
yep.
You know, I think there should be a kind of a new cut of this where they do freeze frame and you just hear the gunfire.
Just end it with fucking Rosewood and Taggart shooting, and then it freezes, and that Baccarat music starts playing.
Yeah. Brilliant.
But yeah, it makes Rosewood even better in the second one. It really fucking does.
Fucking Jonathan Banks is such a boss here. He's in the middle of a gunfight, and he looks like he's just about to lay down for a nap. He's just like, he's looking at
he's always got these sleepy eyes, hasn't he? Yeah. But it makes him more fucking creepier.
Like a salamander. He's just like... So this is actually good. Look at Axel right here. This is some good tactics. He gets low to the ground, good two-hand holds, and shoots from cover. Whereas, because that's what if you're in a gunfight in a house, get low and then shoot around corners and stuff. Like, don't like stand there just making yourself this huge target.
That's how I do it.
That's good, man. Good man.
Yeah. So he's obviously done. Really put some work into getting this right as well, learning how to handle firearms. Who knows? He probably knew how to handle firearms before he became a comedian. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he is a black guy, so yeah.
Yeah, Victor Maitland fucking wounds him as well. He managed to get the drop on him as well. But now Axel obviously has had to duck into another room and trying to recover, and he's had to get out the way now. And I like how Victor Maitland has slowly walked into the kitchen as well, just in case Axel tries to fire back at him.
Yeah.
But now he sees he's gone, and now he's going to have to find him again. Yeah, all the coppers are in now. It's all total chaos. And yeah, this is where Victor Maitland is holding as a fucking human shield. He's like, easy, boy, you might hit me.
Ooh.
And then Borgamel, like a fucking boss, just comes
like
in.
a fucking boss.
Yeah. She elbows him.
Jenny like a boss. Him. Yeah. Look at her.
Jenny from the block.
Yeah.
Headshot, no fucking about.
Yeah, and this is probably the most violent scene in the movie because he really they proper paint the walls with his blood here.
Right in the shoulders. Fuck you, shoulders.
Yeah.
If only he'd listened to you, he'd be fine.
God, Judge Reinhold, fucking God bless him and his dumb smile when he does this. It's so fucking good. You can't help but love him when he does this stupid shit.
Put your hands up.
Yeah, everyone's cops already have them. The cops already have them. It's like, you put your guns down, get on the floor, and take 2 steps back. He's just getting into it. He is.
I like how Taggart didn't even get up. Taggart's just like, nope, you know what? I'm staying down. I'm not going to live through this and catch a random round. No, fuck that.
Yeah. I love Axel's reaction when this guy pops up and is like, oh, fucking hell. I just got shot in the shoulder. I just got shot in the arm. This is all I fucking need right now.
What are you doing here? Bleeding, sir.
Bleeding, sir. Yeah, but like Borgamel, he fucking comes round as well. He knows Axel was right, and he was right to do what he did. Otherwise, an innocent woman would have gotten killed, and Maitland would have gotten away with a very bad crime. So what does he do? He takes Axel's lead. He bullshits to the fucking his boss.
Yeah.
Set up and pay off.
And it's a very convincing story as well. It's like, Jesus Christ, that is a long fucking convoluted story you just got, but it's a good one. But I know his boss is obviously skeptical about it, though, but because Borgamel is so convicted to it as well to protect Axel, his boss is like, all right, put it in the report.
He knows it's a crock of shit.
Yeah.
He knows.
And
I like how Taggart is a little character arc. He goes along with it. He's like, just like the boss said. That's what happened, sir.
It's a little moment, but it shows it shows a lot of change as well. One little moment shows a big change in him.
Everybody's changed. Taggart's took the stick out of his arse. Billy's a real cop now. What they call him, Borgamel or Gargamel or whatever he's called.
Bogomil, yeah.
Bogomil, yeah.
He's come round to the idea of real policing.
Yeah.
I think Judge Reynolds.
Beverly Hills Cop was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah. Jenny, unfortunately.
Used to proper. I think Judge Reinhold used to actually try and get Ronnie Cox to dislocate his shoulder like he did in Deliverance, because he could do that for real. He could pop it out when he needed to.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Man.
Unfortunately, now Jenny doesn't have a job anymore, so in a deleted
she sells her ass for fucking crap.
In a deleted scene, no, she married in order to make it up to the lieutenant for covering for him. She marries the lieutenant, and that daughter that they have in the second one, that's their daughter. So that's a little cute girl. So that's So Jenny marries.
Missed out the bit where Jenny fucking hopped towards the fucking captain.
Yeah, she's like, I knew you were gonna cover for us. Now I'm gonna hop to it, spit on that thing, Lieutenant.
I know that joke's running all, but fucking I had to fucking throw it in. I'm sorry.
I appreciate it.
He's got some life left in it yet.
Yeah. But I do like this bit where Axel's like, he knows he's kind of pushing his luck a little bit though, but yeah, he needs to get back to Detroit and work again, doesn't he? So even Bogamel's like, I think you've already used up your favors. It's like, okay, I was only suggesting you talk to Todd to try and get my job back, but it doesn't matter. I think I'll just stay in LA.
Yeah, he passive aggressive.
Okay, I'll talk to Todd.
He's like, I'm just gonna stay here and open up a detective agency. And he's like, nah, you know what? I got you. I'm gonna.
I love that. But it never shows that Bogomil does really want to get rid of Axel Foley. He does show that he still appreciates him as well, and it makes the plot for the second one a bit more impactful as well when Bogomil gets gunned down by Bridget Nielsen.
Yes. Yeah, it sets up the character relationships well, and as I say, that's why the second film's got a different dynamic to it, which I really like.
Yeah, it's much more louder, isn't it, this time? And like Toxic said, it's more slicker because now you see Axel Foley in all his suits as well at the beginning, and he's got that real nice Ferrari, and he's driving to break down, shake down, you're busted, and it's fucking cool. It's proper 80s Tony Scott cool.
Yeah,
I mean, you can tell a mile off that's a Tony Scott movie.
They even make Detroit look like a neon-drenched fucking exotic fucking land country as well, city. Yeah.
They made Detroit look like a city. Wow.
I know. Yeah. You see,
I heard during the making of it, some of the citizens actually got decent drinking water for a little bit.
Wow. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Anyone from Detroit, I'm only taking the piss. God bless you anyway. And sorry that your government ruined your fucking city. It's
yeah. Well, quit voting blue, Detroit. That's your fault. I don't care.
Same thing for Hull. Stop voting fucking Labour all the time. But and it's basically the good sat by scene as well, where they have this one nice little moment to share before they all go off and
dressing gowns.
Yeah. And he's like, he gives them the dressing gowns and is like, put on our tabs. Like, I've already got a few in the car anyway. But it's really nice. It's really touching as well. You can see these guys have really grown to be friends, even though they've only known each other for a couple of days now. And you feel that chemistry, you feel that bond between them.
Like I said, Real Beverly Hills Cop is the friends they made along the way. It's that kind of a film. No, the character dynamics are really good. They're really good.
I like the fact, even for this moment, they're still there because they have to be. It's their fucking duty now. They still have to make sure he gets back to Detroit.
Yeah, but now they're not resenting it. That's the difference.
I know. They're actually sad to see him go.
And all parties are seeing like the what was I going to say? They both sort of tackle things in different ways, like by the book and not by the book, and they're all seeing like the advantages of kind of using both techniques.
Yeah, I mean, he's earned their respect.
Yeah,
like he earns most people's respect,
and vice versa.
And they learn to lighten up a bit as well, because even though they're on duty, Taggart's like, well, one little beer's not going to kill us.
Nice.
I know, it's fucking sweet. I mean, I love these little moments. I mean, because earlier on in the film, Taggart was very adamant not to fucking go because of his job, but now it's like, come on, yeah. After all we've been through, one little, we deserve a fucking beer with this guy. And yeah, we get that nice little callback to earlier as well. Like, I know the perfect place. Trust me. Wait, that's just skip behind. Here we go. Follow my lead. I know the perfect place. Trust me. And it ends with that fucking with that fucking look on his face as well. You know where he's going to take him.
Yeah, go pick up some transvestites off on Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh yeah, Ben's saying Hull is a Lib Dem city. Still kind of the same. They're still socialist, but my area has a Labour MP though. Man has a Labour MP, so I don't know if yours is Lib Dem then. He lives in a different area of Hull. So
Benjamin Clayton, if you think all these little inside things you know about him make you more of a friend, then you are fucking sadly mistaken.
Yeah, just get in line, buddy.
Come on, Boss's breakdowns, friend wars.
Die, replacement friend.
Again?
Nah, really appreciated Ben for joining us. I'll try and come down and see Collision Point again one time. She's fucking getting the time as well.
I'll come down.
Yeah. Critical might make it as well one day if he ever comes to Hull.
How far's Hull from Nottingham? Fuck knows. Hang on.
Probably a good few hours away.
Not as far as me. Have you seen Game of Thrones? You know the wall and King's Landing. That's my house. To
Yikes.
I'll try and get in touch with the Targaryen, see if we can get a dragon there. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
Listen, if you limeys ever make your way out to Kansas, we'll go out and have a good time. We're gonna have guns.
What happens? You got to teach me how to shoot.
Hell yeah!
I ain't going to America for
I would love to
a gun.
fucking shoot, man. I would love to learn to shoot.
Oh yeah.
I will fucking swim to Kansas.
Nice. Yeah. Well, bad news about where Kansas is.
I was going to say you have trouble.
Hey,
you haven't seen my technique.
I hear you. Hey, I really appreciate you having me on for this, Luke. It's always a fun time.
No problem.
Pleasure.
Yeah, because I'm getting more comfortable doing these big panels now, so I can probably get you and Blue and Enzo on a bit more now. I think because Blue gets a bit more busier now, doesn't he, with his Uber driving?
Oh yeah, he's super famous. He's above us now.
Yeah.
He goes an open bar and everything.
He's the upper echelon, isn't he?
Yeah, he's like B level. We're still at like the C level.
Scum.
Yeah, we're
subhuman scum.
Yeah, we're like, you know how they have A-lister movie stars and B level TV stars, and then they have like the C level reality stars. We're like in that, like right below that. So, but
I get hock-tooed in the face just by random strangers in the street.
Hell yeah, that sounds like a good time. Well, you'll enjoy Kansas then, for sure.
They'll be like, "Are you Toxic's girlfriend?" Yeah. Take that, scum.
No, because he seems to be getting along with drinking all because he's done other streams as well. He's done the Band of Brothers with him. He's done Masters of the Air. I've done a few of them as well, and I'm fucking glad that he's doing well. It's like it kind of comes a long way since I first fucking started talking to him when he was still a small YouTuber who was just a fan of his. And
no, you've been on open bar. I'm amazed you.
Yeah, I've only been on one.
I'm considered
to go on again, and I said I'm in no rush at the moment. I've still got a lot of stuff to do, but if you just let me know what I need to watch on that week, and if I've not committed seppuku by the time I've watched it, I will
Yeah.
run off and back.
Then he says it's the Acolyte, and you're like, "Nah, it's not fucking worth it."
Yeah,
Sorry,
he's like,
I
no.
know I'll get 10,000
Sorry,
subs
drinker.
out of it.
Luke's like, sorry, drinker. I'm washing my hair that day. I can't be asked to be on fucking Acolyte bullshit. Sorry. I just want them to get me on with Gary so I could just really take the piss out of Gary. That's all I really want.
Don't you want to get on with Snacky J though? Give her that
Oh
toxic
God,
scam.
Jesus!
Yeah.
Oh my God, I would drink her dirty bathwater
before she went on drinkers, because she's been around for a few years. She's got a
Oh, really?
following.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'd never seen her before that open bar, to be honest. But then that happens with quite a few people. I find them off open bar. And I'm like, okay.
No, I've been following her for a few months now, and then she popped up on open bar, and I was like, all right, cool.
Is she good? I don't think I've.
Yeah, she's funny.
Yeah,
she's funny. She can laugh at herself, and she knows what her deal is. She's like, look, I'm a cute little Latina with big tits, and I like Star Wars. So she knows how to play that up. So she's good.
Nice.
What I love about these female Star Wars fans is they know it's something that was marketed towards the lads more than the fucking women, but they don't try and make it into something it's not as well. They don't say, why isn't it more marketed more to people like me? No,
because they like it the way it was. There's a whole point behind it, is they like it the way it was.
Yeah,
I know.
That's why they were into it. It's like what happened with China. So China fucking loves dumb American action movies. They fucking love them. It's why the Fast and the Furious makes more money in China than anywhere else. They just can't get enough of it. So then what Hollywood did is it turned around and went, okay, we're going to start making Hollywood films for China. And it started pandering to China and not making them American. And China turned around and went, this isn't what we fucking want. We want your crazy action films because we don't get that here because the government fucking controls us and stuff. So, Hollywood pandered to China with things like Mulan and stuff like that and just fell flat on its arse. The Chinese want action. They want Hollywood. They don't want to be pandered to with all this bollocks. And Hollywood just can't fucking understand that.
Yeah.
I think we are starting to see less of it now, though, because even though there's a lot of really good films that have flopped now and just been pulled from the cinemas, it was still good to sort of see films like The Fall Guy come out, even though it didn't do well, and films like Horizon, even though it has a lot of fucking fat that could have been trimmed. But
it's a shame, though. The problem is it depends what kind of lesson Hollywood learns from it, because at the moment what they're getting is
they never will. They always learn the wrong lesson. Yeah.
So they're going to keep lying, keep falling back on franchises and IPs that do make the money. That can be argued. That's why Barbie made so much money, is because it was based on a very popular feminine IP. And I don't trust Hollywood to learn the lesson that 2 + 2 = fucking 4. So who knows what will get going forward? I think it really is.
The real issue is that we have idiots that are at the top of these these production companies and distributors that know and care nothing, or at best very little, but at the most nothing about movies. I mean, zero is pretty much the answer to that. They genuinely don't care, and it shows. And it's shown for the last 15 years.
And the thing is, it shows all the way down through the hiring practices as well, because they hire people that don't know or don't give a fuck about movies. And that shows.
Yeah, no, they're all activists. They have no experience in fucking writing or in terms of story or anything. They just know about pushing agendas and that's it. And they're all fucking crooked. They're all bought and paid for. Even they don't believe their own fucking bullshit either. I mean, they're just mouthpieces, that's it.
The old saying used to be, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I kind of feel like the new saying these days is, it's not what you know, it's what
who you blow.
It's what you say. If you've got the right opinion and you say the right things and you sit on the right side of the political aisle, then you are pretty much always guaranteed a job, no matter how shit you are. Leslie Helen will get work after The Acolyte. It's guaranteed.
Yeah. Oh,
And it
for
doesn't
sure.
matter. It's one of the worst things I've
Yeah.
ever seen in every.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
People like feel upwards, don't they?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
think-
I would not be surprised if Kathleen Kennedy named her as a fucking heir, because the Acolyte is Kathleen Kennedy's vision for Star Wars writ large. Every man is talked down to. Every man is stupid or weak. All the women are strong, and it's just I don't see any hope for it at all.
I've got to be honest with you. I kind of, because I think we're all starting to see the pendulum swinging the other way, or the wheel turning in the other direction. You know, it's kind of slowing down and starting to turn. And when we do have things like the Fall Guy and Horizon coming out, I think these are reactionary movies against this kind of thing. Something that is going to be either, you know, balls to the walls entertainment like the Fall Guy, or something maybe a little bit more deeper and cerebral like Horizon. You know, that people do actually want these kind of movies. We don't always want popcorn movies, and bad popcorn movies at that. And not just that, it's the fact that we don't want to be told what to think. I
Yeah.
mean, I'm. It's gone on for years, for decades, right? I mean, even if you go as far back as the early days of, let's just say, for example, Happy Days. So even with Happy Days, it kind of made me kind of vomit slightly, because there was always and the moral to the story is at the end of each episode of Happy Days, and there was always some kind of little kind of moral thing there, which it didn't really sort of jive with me even back then when I was a kid. And it's even more vom-worthy now, where you see all of these activists, as Luke was saying, you know, that are constantly pushing their group think. You know, think like me, or we will point our fingers at you. You're a fascist. You're a Nazi. You're a fascist. You're a fascist, and you're a Nazi, just because you don't agree with this kind of group think.
Yes, and it doesn't matter if you
and
agree with 90% of that group think. If you don't agree with 100%, you're still a pariah.
And the trouble is that big corporations, etc., believe that shit.
And it takes big corporations a long time to change course. It's like an oil tanker. You can't spin it. You can't turn it straight away. There's stuff in development right now that will not be what's their course in 6 months.
Yeah, exactly. There's no panacea for this. There's no magic bullet, silver bullet that's going to cure all of this. There's absolutely no panacea whatsoever. There's no such thing as a cure-all. I mean, you really have to strip everything back. You know, you have to kind of kill the beast in order to kind of start from scratch.
But then you've got the media on board as well. It's kind of spreading the virus.
Absolutely.
If you look at like,
oh yeah, fucking BBC, ITV, Channel 4,
Oh,
CNN.
Did you see BBC's new one? BBC's new one's hilarious. They're doing a 1066 Battle of Hastings documentary with a diverse cast.
Fuck off.
Yeah,
So
there's
all the
no
Normans
respect for
and everything
history as well. Yeah, like rewrite history the way we want it.
So it's just rewriting of history.
So
but this is why it's important that we have to. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. This is why it's important that we have to highlight the good stuff. You know, it's important that things like Fall Guy, even if it didn't perform, we have to make sure that we champion them and say, look, this is actually a good movie. There's no woke agenda in it. It's got charismatic actors in it doing good stuff. It's a good time. Yes, the writing's not perfect, but it's a good time to go see it. Because if we can get it to the stage where these kind of things are accepted and adopted by the mass populace, then Hollywood will slowly pivot. But unfortunately, when something like Fall Guy falls on its arse and the shills don't back it because they can't afford to buy them off or whatever, everyone that fails, Hollywood is going to be like, well, people don't want that. We're not going to make more of that. So the
but it's also this kind of agenda, this kind of politicking in movies it's almost become a bit of a comfort zone for them now, as much of a comfort zone as sequels and you know, assigned materials or IPs, if you like. non-original ideas, non-original material.
Mm.
I mean, look, I'm fine with adaptations of books, of literature. I'm absolutely perfectly fine with that. I'm fine with maybe slightly, broad strokes, not necessarily accurate depictions of historical events, right? So I'm kind of okay with that personally. But what I'm not okay with is constantly seeing the stream of sequels, reboots, remakes, reimaginings, and I think one of the worst that I saw, I think, was it iRobot, suggested by Isaac Asimov's iRobot. I mean, come on.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like a
Yeah.
scrape at the bottom of a
What does that
barrel
mean,
for
suggested by?
remakes and reboots now, because they've done it all with Star Wars. They've already done
Yeah.
with Indiana Jones, another sequel for
Yeah.
that. They've done that with fucking Batman plenty of times now, and
Yeah.
fucking Superman. And they're just running out of things to fucking reboot and remake and fucking ruin. It's
Hopefully they never do Back to the Future.
so
Flintstones.
Oh, don't
that's
even.
not been
Don't
touched.
even. Oh God.
It's been spoken of, isn't it? It's been
Yeah,
spoken
they
of.
have talked about it. I reckon they're waiting for Robert Zemeckis to die and then they'll fucking do it.
Yeah, because he won't do it. He
He
from
won't
what
touch
I'm
it.
hearing, he will not do it.
No.
Has anybody seen the Time Bandits trailer? Fuck
Ugh.
that.
What?
Oh my God.
It's
So-
awful.
sorry.
He used to be so funny.
sorry.
He used to be so funny, but now he got so up his own ass after
Yep.
Ragnarok. It's unbelievable. And it's a shame because I don't like Jojo Rabbit and Hunt for the Wilder People. And
Yeah, I
we
love
did
Jojo Rabbit. And sorry, Inside Man, you were saying?
Sorry, did you say Time Bandits?
Time
Bandits.
Bandits.
Yeah, Time Bandits is
TV show.
Terry
Lisa
Gilliam walked
Kudrow.
off set. Terry Gilliam walked off the set and disowned it.
Check out the trailer.
Oh, it's bad.
Inside Man.
Oh, you're
really
fucking
bad.
joking.
It's
You're
Lisa,
kidding.
Lisa Kudrow.
This one's not a joke. This is actually a
Yeah.
real thing that exists in the world.
Yeah,
Lisa
I'm afraid so.
Kudrow is front and center, and if you're listening to her deliver,
It's awful.
delivering her lines like the Royal Mail could deliver her lines better. Absolutely horrible. She's just saying things. There's no dwarfs in it.
yeah,
It's
because it's
bad.
offensive.
It's- It's generic Apple TV. It really
Oh my
is.
God.
Awful.
Really
It,
is.
it looks good.
This is Apple, is it? This is Apple.
Yeah, it's Apple. Yeah, it's got no identity to it at all. All of the
fucking Christ.
quirkiness that Terry Gilliam
Yeah.
inserted into the original, all of the heart, the feel, the
The jokes
identity,
are
it's all
awful.
gone. It looks as generic as bollocks. It really does.
Awful.
Jesus fucking Christ.
After probably would have been 20 years ago, Ben, but these days now, there's so many people that don't know what the fuck they're doing.
I don't trust anything to be a good movie these days.
Yeah.
I don't trust. I have pleasant. They have pleasant surprises. You walk into something and you see it like, oh, that was all right.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't trust anything to be good these days because the
you
people that are
think-
making this stuff just can't be trusted.
See, there are so many brilliant writers out there,
Mhm.
right?
And they're all getting turned down. All getting
Well,
turned
it's not just that. It's the fact that they can't really write original material, or they're not allowed to write original material. It's now become the thing where we are going to commission you to write this script, this screenplay, and if we don't like it, we actually reserve the right to change as much as we like to make sure that it's hammered into the shape that we prefer. That's why so many writers have been walking off of so many different projects, because it's and why there's a problem with the WGA at the moment, and the way they're failing to protect the writers and the Screenwriters Guild as well. There's a real problem. And as you say, the hiring of absolutely anybody just because they happen to want the job of screenwriter, putting their hand up and saying, "Oh yeah, I want to be a screenwriter, please." Oh, do you? Which particular boxes do you think you might tick in this?
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
they'll go down the list, and oh yeah, you've actually ticked 10 of our 12 boxes. Please come in.
Mhm.
It's that. Sit down. Come on, write us a script.
I know, it's weird how fucking diverse old movies were without the fucking diversity forced into them.
You're absolutely right.
This is the thing that I've said, that we've always had the diversity in films. We've always had it.
And we've always had strong female characters as well.
Yeah,
we had Pam
always.
Grier in the fucking 70s. We had even had some good Bond girls in the in the old days as well, like Pussy Galore. And
it's always
I'm still gonna say Dorothy Gale from The Wizard of Oz was the original sort of badass girl.
She wasn't like she wasn't a gun total badass. She was like a normal girl, but she still held her own when she needed to as well.
Like strong female character then.
Yeah, it was actually Jennifer Lawrence, you bunch of bigots.
Oh, shit.
I don't know where you're getting this from.
Oh, forgot about her. Yeah.
Oh yeah. How could we be so ignorant?
I don't know. She was the first female action star, so I don't know what you guys are on about. Honestly, it must be something.
She has many names.
Yeah, it must be something
she
over
was
there.
The captain of the Titanic, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was. She did a lot. She did a lot.
I think I've seen her go down.
Oh.
Whoa!
That's the best one of the night. I've got a beautiful story about the Titanic. If you want me to tell you it,
as long as it doesn't involve potatoes and arseholes, we're fine.
Well, if it doesn't, then I'm not interested. Hey, I gotta. In all seriousness, I do gotta jam. I gotta get ready for work. So,
thank you. I'll be finishing soon anyway. So
yeah. I haven't been surrounded by this many Brits since I worked for a London-based company in Iraq, and they used to take the piss out of me on a constant. But you think I'm bad with you? Oh my god, good stuff, man. Miss those guys. But yeah, thank you, and it's great streaming with you guys. Hopefully, I'll see you guys sometime this weekend, maybe on Stupenzo's channel. But anything you guys got going on, I'm subscribed to all your channels and yada yada yada. So have a good day and take it easy.
Cheers,
Cheers, man.
Nice one.
He's great. I love him. He's
great. He don't give a fuck, does he? Yeah.
He's a great guy.
Disagreeable. He's disagreeable. We need more people like this in the world sometimes.
Yeah. And this is the thing, isn't it? I mean, just because you don't happen to agree with somebody, it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to fall out with somebody.
And this is the craziest thing that's been forgotten.
Yeah,
that was always the best part of like being a movie fan. You'd go to school or you'd hang out with your friends or whatever. Did you see that last night? It was great. No, it wasn't. It was shit. You knobhead.
Yeah,
and to and fro, and you just talk about the movie or the TV show. Yeah,
I can disagree with you, but it doesn't mean that I can't associate with you in any way. Because for everything I disagree with you with, we'll agree on something else. So let's focus on the things we agree on and not the things we disagree on. And it's a totally lost art now for some reason, like the art of debate, just totally gone.
But it's one of those things where we're all under the impression that we've all got a great sense of humor, fantastic judges of character, and great taste in music and movies. Right? Everyone thinks that. Anyone who says they don't think that is, probably the Dalai Lama or someone like that. But we all believe that. We all think we've got a great sense of humor. We all think that we're a great judge of character, and we all think that our taste in movies and music is, just exceptional.
I don't know. My list of exes proves that I am not a good judge of character at all. I take your point.
but I do like. I do like listening to other people's points of views on movies and anything, to be honest with you.
I think it's almost mandatory. I really do. You have to absorb yourself in the opinions of people you don't necessarily agree with. You have to, because if you don't, you're just in an echo chamber and you're not going to learn.
You end up like fucking guys like Organized Chaos that just goes out of his way to fucking slam Nerdriotic and Drinker and fucking Mauler and that just because they call out the bullshit in movies that I don't even think he even feels any passion for.
I think in that respect, I think that one of the reasons that I think that's a little bit kind of clickbaity, personally.
I think he is.
I'm going to call this person out, that person out, and that person out. Yeah, and in order to
get content, it's always content. Oh, Mauler said this, he's a bigot. Drinker said this, he's a bigot. Come on, this guy is really fucking desperate. He's desperate for fucking clicks and
likes. Who are you talking about?
It's the go-to, isn't it, bigot? It's just the one.
Organized Chaos. He pops up on our feed a lot, especially on the drunk posting.
And as I say, do I agree? Have I agreed with everything that Drinker said? Probably not. Have I agreed with everything Nerdrotic said? No, probably not. But it doesn't matter because on the whole, I trust those guys' opinions on stuff. Every now and again, they'll say something that's shit or that I thought was great, or they'll say something that's great that I thought was shit. But you know, you have to know how to assimilate information from different perspectives.
Yeah.
And
the thing is about
you're just not going to grow as a person.
And also to not get angry at the thought of somebody else's opinion being contrary to yours. And that's what I don't get.
It's like you gotta have a sense of humor about it as well. And it's like, what were you on about? You're fucking wrong. You're wrong. But you say it jokingly as well, don't you? Don't
As you say back in the day, it'd be like, no, shut up, you knobhead. You know, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. You're still mates.
What a bell end you are.
Yeah, exactly.
Carry on.
In that way, that only Brits can, but you know.
The trouble with people like that is you see quite a few of them on YouTube that are slagging this one off. They slag Gary off from Nerdrotic and the slag Drinker off from and they're calling them bigots and all this sort of stuff. And they'll be saying, "Oh, if you don't like Star Wars, don't watch it." And I think, well, I've actually commented before, like, why the fuck are you watching this guy that you're complaining about? Go and watch something that you want to watch.
It's what
remember when that fucking one was complaining to Lance? I was like, this was about Star Wars is for 12-year-olds. Why are you 15-year-old guys moaning about something made for 12-year-olds? Like, yeah, but 12-year-olds still deserve good fucking quality fucking TV shows.
More than anybody. More than we do.
Yeah.
More than we do.
It's more important. It's more important.
I mean, I've maintained this for years since I first even sort of entered the industry. That if there's one particular demographic that deserves the best of what you can give them, and that's children from the age of 4 up to about 14. That particular demographic. They're incredibly important, and it's not because we can make money out of them as an audience, as a cinema going audience or a television audience. It's nothing to do with that. I look back on, and this is me getting nostalgic, I look back on some of the TV shows that I grew up with, and there was absolutely zero agenda, and it was all kind of adventure, all sort of adventure stuff. Yeah, total escapism, pure entertainment. They got nothing like that now. They have nothing like that now.
No heroes. Heroes.
It's totally fucking dumb as well to accept any old shit, because you ever seen that episode of Black Books where Bill Bailey and Dylan Moran have to write a children's book, and it's like, it's much harder than you think. Kids are very perceptive, and they really underestimate the task as well, don't they?
Yeah. Oh, I love that episode so much.
Something Greg is right.
Anybody in the comments, if you've never seen Black Books, check it out.
It's great.
Quality British comedy. It really is. It's fucking funny. Bernard Black is like my fucking spirit animal, but I don't.
It's probably what is definitely a good reason why British characters are better when they're total fucking depressed, miserable assholes.
Peep Show is my go-to.
Peep Show's also very good.
That's so good.
Terrific.
I don't know how many times I've watched like all 9 seasons. Like
one of my favorite episodes is when I think it's Mark's kind of stag thing, and they stay out, they go on the barge, and they run over that girl's dog, Mummy, and they try to burn it and put it in the bag. You're eating Mummy.
She finds a fucking dog collar.
Yeah. I love Peep Show, but I struggle with Mark sometimes. I'm like,
I think
how can somebody be that self-destructive?
Yeah.
How?
Well, yeah, it's that perfect self-loving people always, they look for happiness, but they always find a way to fuck it up, don't they?
Yeah. 100%. It's, don't get me wrong, it's masterfully done.
Yeah.
By what's his name now? Is it David, I think?
David Mitchell.
David Mitchell. Yeah, it's masterfully done by him.
Yeah.
Because it's the mark of such a great character that you feel that way. But yeah, when I'm watching them, I'm just like, oh God, dude, no, please, God.
I think that's kind of part of the point of it, isn't it? Where you're frustrated for the character. You can see exactly all of the wrong turns that he's making.
Yeah, it's a sign of great writing.
Yeah,
just when he has an argument with his boiler and starts punching it and says, "Obey me, Orak."
I'm gonna have to watch it again because that was such a good show. I remember, I think I was a teen. I was still at school when that show came out, and this was back when Channel 4 was was just fucking great, just bringing out all these new.
It was the real alternative, wasn't it? Back then, that's the thing.
It was. Yeah,
that's what its mandate was to be an alternative to the big channels.
Yeah, they were like the rock star, the comedy channel for. I mean, every program was like a rock star in itself, coming out and just being very funny in this very sort of mean-spirited, cynical way. And
didn't Space come out on Channel 4 as well?
Yes, it did.
It did, yeah.
Space was Channel 4, yeah. But then Channel 4 was kind of like sort of an extension of BBC Two, if you like, without some of the sort of crustier late night shows.
Yes.
But in terms of comedy, BBC Two were the ones that obviously launched, Monty Python and The Day Today, Alan Partridge, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, BBC had so many great. I mean, like Red Dwarf.
Yeah.
Was a BBC Two thing, classic there.
And I mean, it almost didn't get commissioned as well. It's like you can't do a sitcom in space. No one will fucking watch it, and it's like this big cult hit. People say it's a cult hit, but I don't think of it as a cult hit. I think
it's beyond a cult, isn't it? It's
it is.
Popular show.
Have you ever seen the Luke? Have you ever seen the American Pilot?
I've seen it. Yeah, it's not that good. I mean, the guy who plays Lister's way too fucking good looking. And
Exactly.
Plus, he was a model. He was like,
They just don't get it. They just don't get the whole concept of Red Dwarf. It's crazy.
I think something that I can just keep on making it until they're dead. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean they're all
give me as many series as they can.
Gotta be, but there is some more coming. They've done a few more specials.
Yeah. To be fair, even the writing was still pretty good in the last 2 or 3 seasons.
I really liked the last one. What was it, The Promised Land? I thought it was good. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was all right in places.
But it's funny, isn't it? It's funny.
Season 8 period, wasn't there, where they got rid of Rimmer?
Horrible.
Because I don't think the one who played Kachansky in Series 7 was as good as Claire Grogan, even though
she didn't really lean into it, did she?
No, it was. Oh God, what's her name?
I don't know.
Chloe Summer. She was a good actress, but she just didn't have that same chemistry with him. The way
is it Chloe and Nick something?
Yeah, I think they're trying to make her the voice of reason with all these sort of like kind of unconventional guys who have to operate in space but don't always have a clue what they're doing because
she obviously she came in as the foil or as the opposite of Rimmer or the new Rimmer kind of thing. But
Chloe Annette,
it was Chloe Annette. Yeah. You couldn't hate Kachansky in any way like you hated Rimmer. Like Rimmer was he was a hateable character, which made, again, if you can hate a character, that's a sign of a really good character. And Kachansky, you're just kind of ambivalent towards her, really.
Because
it didn't work.
Because the thing is, Lister already kind of is the voice of reason, despite the fact he's a bit of a fucking slob who's always on this bad diet of curry and beer all the time. And
Lister's the everyman, isn't he? He's us.
Yeah.
He's the path of least resistance. Just wants an easy life. Just wants to fucking chill out. He's got some principles, but he just wants to chill out. That's all he wants.
I know, and he does evolve as well. Like he learns how to operate the shuttles.
He does. All the characters evolve. I think there's fairly good evolution there. I mean, Cat probably gets the least, I would say, because of his character.
Yeah, he's still sort of vain, isn't he? And there's
only so much you can really do with that. And one of the episodes that would have seen Cat get a lot of development, where he finds a female cat, unfortunately, it got cut. It never got made. But yeah, I mean, Red Dwarf's brilliant. I really like Red Dwarf, and I'm looking forward to the new one.
Characters.
It's a shame that Grant and Naylor couldn't get on to continue making it, kind of thing. But
I think it lost its way a little bit after they split up because
that's definitely once they split up, that's when it started to struggle a little bit. But overall, I think it's great stuff. Like Blackadder, I think Blackadder's pretty great all the way through. Even that first season where it's backwards, I think there's some great stuff in there with Brian Blessed and oh God, Peter O'Toole, is it, who plays the king?
Yeah. No, Peter Cook.
Peter Cook, that's it. Peter Cook, sorry, yeah. And there's some great stuff there. And I was sad they didn't continue with Blackadder, to be honest. I thought that was great.
But we're going to be finishing up soon. So
Yeah, we've lost the
Yes.
Americans.
I
So
know.
I don't mean just our panel guest, Lord of Toxicity. I mean the audience. They're like, oh god, they've gone all British. We don't know what we're talking about now.
Yeah, so Beverly Hills Cop, yeah, it's still a great fucking movie. It's very smart. It's very funny. It's
Awesome.
got great characters. They've got great chemistry together, and they're written like real people, real professionals who know what they're doing. And it's got a pretty decent villain, even if he is a little generic. But Steve Berkoff really makes it work.
He's better than the one in the new one.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon was a dull villain in the new one. I like Kevin Bacon as an actor, but
So it seemed phoned in, didn't it?
Yeah,
Just
really phoned in.
sounded-
And on top of that, like you knew the second he was on screen.
Yeah.
Spoilers, sorry, but it's like, oh yeah, that's the rest of the film then, I guess. And
He's the
at that
baddie.
point, we weren't even halfway through the film. It was like, oh,
even Alistair Wald in the third one was more memorable.
yes, exactly. Yeah.
Oh. I think he is the best thing in the third one, in my eldest opinion. There's something about him, the way he just charms everyone else, but there's this real fucking psychotic persona hidden underneath the
I
smiles.
have a bit of a soft spot for the third one. I can recognise that it's the worst of them, but I still, maybe because I saw it first, as I said, strangely enough. But I've got a bit of a soft spot for the third one. I think it's pretty good. I mean, it's silly. It's more camp and over the top and all that kind of stuff. But I kind of like it. It's got, let's face it, it's got nearly the same plot as the other two. Somebody goes to Axel, gets murdered or hurt, and he goes to Beverly Hills to sort it all out.
I didn't like the fact the Axel F theme was actually done with a score. No, keep it to the 80s synth. Give it that little
it's all about that synth, isn't it?
realism.
It's like the rap version on the new version, on the new film. Axel F hated it, the rap. I don't even call it rap or hip hop or whatever. I'm a metalhead through and through, but I didn't like it. It's all about that synth, like you say.
Yeah, it gives it more stripped down, doesn't it? It makes it more.
Yeah, it's just 80s in a nutshell, isn't it? The 80s was all about that synth vibe. But like I say,
so final thoughts on Beverly Hills Cop. Yeah, it's obvious, but I got to ask anyway. So starting with Fandad, final thoughts on the very first Beverly Hills Cop movie.
Very good. Very easy to watch. Great story. Good mix of humour and action. And it reminded me of sort of Lethal Weapon kind of style. Great cinematography.
Lethal Weapon, it's kind of like Lethal Weapon. I always thought Lethal Weapon was a bit more darker anyway, but
it's got that humour side that's not slapstick. So
I might do that one on Christmas, the first one of my streams. So critical final thoughts on Beverly Hills Cop 1.
Yeah, it's just the archetypical 80s cop film, in my opinion. Eddie Murphy, regardless of how young he is just great in it. The character dynamics are really good and they evolve throughout the film. The story is told in an intelligent way with a script that informs the audience without actually facing the audience and going, this is what's going on. The audience is left to infer things. The audience is left to work things out on their own. Like you say, maybe the villain's a little bit sort of weak and generic, but the villain was never the high point in these films. It was always about Axel doing what he needs to do. It's a really easy watch. It's an hour and 45 minutes. In no way outstays its welcome. I don't think there's really any wasted scenes in it. It's well directed, and it's just a good watch. And Nick, I do recommend it. If you've not seen it somehow, check it out.
Watch the movie first before you watch this stream.
Watch the first one before you watch the third one. Don't do what I did.
Final thoughts then, Inside Man, on Beverly Hills Cop.
One of the few 80s movies that I would actually recommend to anybody, for anyone to watch, and it's one of the few 80s movies that I actually do go back to and give a little bit of a rewatch. As I said at the beginning, I'm for some reason, I think because I went through the period of seeing all of these movies in the cinema at the time, and everyone seems to have this nostalgic, misty-eyed kind of view, rose-tinted view of 80s movies, and they're not really all they're cracked up to be. I think it was a pretty barren period for decent movies. This is one of the decent movies, above and beyond anything that Lethal Weapon could ever even aspire to be. any of the Lethal Weapon films. It's relatively light-hearted, with a little bit of a serious edge. Some people might say that this is an Eddie Murphy vehicle, but I would probably disagree with that. I just think it's a cracking popcorn, cop adventure, thriller, comedy type movie. It's great. I love it.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. I know it's been very good.
Pleasure.
Everyone in the chat, thanks for joining me. Adam Gray, Nix, Mr. E, Barbara Lawrence. Who else? Yeah,
Big
Ben,
Ray.
obviously. Fucking hell. Thanks for joining me.
Wilson, Ray Terry.
Yeah. Wilson.
Yeah, Ray Terry as well. Yeah, everyone. You've been really good, and
Good crowd.
and it's always good to
Yeah.
talk about these really fucking great movies and go a bit more in depth compared to doing reviews that are less than 10 minutes if I'm able to.
Can I
And
say
that
something? I was going to say, could I say something?
yes.
As long as it doesn't involve potatoes and arseholes.
Could do. No, it's just to do with like 80s movies and what Inside Man was saying about not very good. But like, firstly, I'll pick your brains and I'll just say, we're halfway through 2024 now, 40 years down the line. Can any of you give me like the greatest movies of this year so far? Pick a couple, Mr.
No,
Bastard.
Oh, trying to
Or
think now.
Inside Man.
I can't think any that I've seen.
Yeah, that you would.
No,
That you
no,
would say
I can't.
that's the
And
Beverly
it will
Hills Cop
remain that way. We're
standard.
as barren now as we were back then, in the 2020s. That we can look back over the last 4 years and say, yeah, there were a couple of good movies, but how many of those movies are we genuinely going to go out and look? This is how I mark a good movie, right? This is one of the kind of measurements that I use to mark a good movie, right? Apart from the fact that it would have rewatchability factor, right? It's rewatchability factor.
Yeah,
But would I
40 years
physically
down the
go?
line.
Would I physically go out and buy a physical copy of that, and have that in my collection? With this movie, yes. With the movies that have come over the last 4 years in the start of this decade, no, not one. And we're going to have a barren period, I think. But
Luke,
I think
do you
it's going to
think
be like that for the last 20 years.
Do you think there's anything that stood out this year, Luke?
This year, can't really say. Maybe Late Night with the Devil is definitely one. Inside Out 2 is definitely the one. But
See, I thought that was awful.
Really, I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, I thought it was just awful. I thought the performances were terrible. I thought the sort of pseudo reality of it didn't work for me. Don't know, but I can talk about that later. What about
throwing your question back at you? I'm
Yeah.
really curious as to what you would think, and then I'd love to hear Al's as well.
This year, I can't really pinpoint anything that's had me sort of gripped off the top of my head. But what I was going to do is go through what came out in 1984 compared to what we've got this year. But Al, give us your thoughts.
There's been some half decent films this year.
Yeah.
Fall Guy was fun.
That was okay.
Boy Kills World, I enjoyed. I thought that was nice.
I need to watch that.
That was a good laugh. It's very zany, it looks like it was based on a comic book, but it wasn't. And the idea of a deaf protagonist, with the narrator is the voice of Archer, who does his inner monologue, because that's the guy he remembers from the video games that he used to play with his sister. Very cool. But if you're looking at films, I think the mark of another good film was Abigail, for example. But I think the mark of a good film as a classic is something like Beverly Hills Cop, where 40 years later you can look at it and go, "That's a great movie."
Yeah.
And nothing, as Inside Man said, we've had nothing in a long time that people are going to look at.
Yeah, it's time. Time is its marker, isn't it? Time is its kind of its yardstick, its benchmark, its bar. That's what it is. Time is that thing that creates that turns a good movie into a classic. But we do realize when we see a movie, we do realize when we've seen something that really does affect us, or really, whether it affects us, whether it makes us cry, whether it makes us, shit ourselves in terror,
Yeah.
whether it makes us, laugh ourselves until we're sick, it doesn't matter which way it entertains us. But we know when we've been entertained. And the reason we go back and, watch those movies 30, 40 years later is because we want to relive that. We want to relive those moments,
Yeah.
not just because it's a good film, but we
Mm.
want that movie to sort of invoke and provoke and evoke those emotions again. That's why
And they have depth
do it.
as well. You can't imagine. I mean, we've been talking about this film for 2 hours. I think
Yeah.
about 2 hours. You can't imagine talking about any of the stuff that comes out these days for that amount of time, analysing
Absolutely
and going
right.
into the depth and the
Not in a
character.
good way, anyway.
No,
I
no,
might
yeah,
have to cut
exactly.
you off now because we have to, because I've got to hop off now anyway. So if you want to continue this conversation after, then feel free. But
Yes,
I'm
mate.
going to
Yeah.
end it there now. All
Cheers.
right. So
Nice one.
Thanks for letting us
hopefully
on,
you can join
mate.
me next
Thanks for inviting us on.
Yeah, you've been fucking brilliant as well. I
Good
love
time as
having
always,
you.
guys.
It's been an absolute blast, lads.
But yeah, I do agree with what you're saying. Yeah, because there's barely been anything, and the fact that we got this great film that's 40 years on later, it's still much better than anything that's out at the moment. Is definitely shows just a great film this is.
Can I just finally? Sorry, I was going to say, can I give you a quick list of what 1984 gave us? Just
there was Terminator. There's Terminator, wasn't there?
Yeah, Police Academy,
Footloose. I've got a big list
Ghostbusters.
right now.
Yeah, Karate Kid, Splash, June, Nightmare on Elm Street, Gremlins, Once Upon a Time in America, Never Ending Story. We had Temple of Doom, Romance in the Stone, Top Secret, Red Dawn, and we had the Charles Band movie Trancers as well.
Good films.
But that's just a few.
No. But I'm going to wrap up now anyway.
What's next week? What's next week, Luke?
Next week is Men in Black.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was a good one, that from the 90s.
Yep. Nice.
And we will get more into that next week. So for right now, whether you are Northern English or not, you beautiful bastards, thank you for joining us. And right now we are done and we are off to the pub. And enjoy the rest of your weekend too.
Bye-bye now.